All right. We are live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. My name is Anthony Brian Logan. Definitely appreciate you for being here. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me, live on the show. Thank y'all for joining. We got quite a few topics on deck for tonight. Theresa May has resigned as UK's Prime Minister. What's going on with that? Why resign? What's going on? Well, we know why she resigned, but what does it mean for the future of UK? Also, Ben Carson, the whole Oreo kerfuffle during the congressional testimony. I mean, was the testimony more important or was the Oreo thing more important? I think the testimony was more important because he was talking about removing illegals from public housing. Jussie Smollett's case has been unsealed. We're going to see exactly what's in there. And hopefully we get people locked up. We get Tina Chen and Kim Fox. We get some real investigation going on to see what's happening. And hopefully the FBI takes a little gander at the case files to see if there's anything in there they could do, aside from what they're doing right now, which is supposedly dealing with the fake letter that Jussie allegedly sent himself. Michael Avenatti stealing $300,000 from Stormy Daniels. What's going on with that? I mean, is the guy on drugs? Is he in debt with the mob? Is he a degenerate gambler? What's really going on? There are quite a few topics, and we're going to talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live, and I thank y'all for joining. That's my cue. Appreciate y'all for being here. And if you're just now joining or you're watching the restream, please give the video a thumbs up, share the video, do all that good stuff. And always, if you are just now coming to the channel and you're not subscribed, or if you've been here for a while and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Subscribing is free, sharing is free, and liking the video are all free. So if you do that for me, I greatly appreciate it. Thank y'all for joining. I see everybody in the chat. Let me see. We got BL, D Tachera, Snap Turtle, David Ray. I see you. Who else we got? Let me load my screen here. TJ Wilson, Vote Red in November. Tiny, I see you. D Dixon, Dorsey's Resource. Jonestown Autopsy says Theresa may have buckled under the pressure, something Trump refuses to do. Yeah, we're not going to buckle under the pressure. We're not going to bend, break, or fold. We're going to keep on rocking. Thank you, Cindy from Oregon. I appreciate you. Avenatti is a kind man. Exactly. 100%. Shout out to Aaron Hook coming from the UK. All right. How you guys feel about Theresa May resigning? I'm seeing not necessarily mixed opinions, but some people are, well, it is kind of mixed. Not necessarily mixed on her resigning, but about her as an individual, if that makes sense. Some people say they hate her. Some say they don't hate her. She's just a bad prime minister. Some say that she wasn't that bad. It's just weird. I think the main thing is that she just couldn't get the job done. But I could be wrong. She could have just been an overall bad person as well. But like I said in my video I did earlier, I'm not in the UK. I'm over here in America, so I don't have that firsthand experience with the prime minister to really formulate an opinion about her specifically as an individual. So it's hard for me to tell. Shout out to Zodish's Cane Sword. Shout out to Nathan. You're going to see John Wick 3. Hey, I'm definitely going to see that. Hopefully ASAP. Because, you know what? The first John Wick, I was kind of like, eh. But then I saw it again, and I was like, nah, that's pretty good. And then I saw John Wick 2. I was like, this is really good. So, yeah, I definitely want to see John Wick 3. And they got Halle Berry in it. That's going to be a good movie. All righty. Shout out to Tsunami for this first super chat. Setting it off right. They say a Russia narrative is a dead horse. Democrats, we're going to keep investigating. Trump, cute nappy roots. Oh no. Releases all info to bar. Democrats, crying face, hilarious. 100%. You know, the Democrats have been investigating this Russia thing for years now with nothing, with no ripe fruit. It's just a bunch of a true nothing burger. If that were to become a word or a phrase in a dictionary, nothing burger, under the definition would be Russia, the whole narrative behind Russia. The election of Donald Trump's 2016 election, tampering or whatever, nothing burger. It's an example of it. 100%. So, yeah. Oh, we're going to get that wall completed. Don't even worry about it. It's going to take time. You know, Rome was not built in a day. Some people say, oh, we should have the wall built right now. Like, some people were saying as soon as Trump got inaugurated, the wall should have been just erected, just thrown up, just instantly. Not worrying about eminent domain, not worrying about geographic issues, not worrying about money. Just throw it right up. Personally, I did not think that the wall would actually get built. I thought that there would be tighter restrictions on immigration. You know, I didn't expect for the wall to get built. I felt like it'd be something that we would try, but not actually get accomplished. But now here we are making it happen. There's already been parts of the wall that are built. And really, when the media says, or when anybody says that building the wall is somehow inhumane, they fail to realize that there's already wall down there right now. It's just not complete. There's been wall there for years and years before Trump came into office. I saw the wall down in El Paso. It's on their city to have a wall. It's just in certain parts, like when you go outside of the city center, there is no wall. That's the issue of the people that are coming over the border. But there is a wall down there and a military base. I saw right there in El Paso, not only is there a wall and a military base, you also have like helicopters, drones, all that good stuff. All we want is that same thing on a whole border rather than just parts of the border that are deemed as hotspots, because all they're going to do is just go around the hotspots. That's it. That's all they're going to do. And we might need to build a wall around California as well. You know, it's a lot of good folks in California, and hopefully you guys are able to escape. But if things keep going the way they're going, some of these states may need walls around them as well. So if you're living in California, just, you know, go to Nevada or Arizona or something, because the wall, I might need to build a wall right around. You know, in a matter of fact, how about this? How about we put a wall around like San Francisco? You know, keep all the homeless junkies in one little area, wall them off. That might be better. You know, I was just watching, what was that, World War Z? Have like little areas where the zombies are able to do whatever they want. Because quiet as it's kept, some of these movies, these zombie survival movies, it's like these people that are in the movies, the zombies, actually exist. I mean, if you ever see somebody high on drugs, halfway nodding off, slobbing on themselves, it's a zombie. It's no different than what you see in the movies. And they're violent and dangerous the same way they are in the movies too. So, yeah, put them in one little quarantine area and I'll be good with that. 1,000%. You want who in orange? Oh, Nadler. Yeah. Shout out to Jerry Nadler. He had like a little health scare. They're talking about dehydration. It could have been that. It looked like diabetes, be honest with you, but like, you know, it could be both. One or the other or both. I don't know. But yeah, he didn't look too good sitting up there. It could be age as well. I'm not quite sure how old he is. I know he's not necessarily a young man, so it could be that. A lot of these people in Congress don't need to be there. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, where is she? People talking about, oh, she's been seen at events, doing speaking engagements. Where? I mean, if you've seen Ruth Bader Ginsburg, send me a picture, send me a tweet, send me something. I mean, I've not seen her since the beginning of the year. It's been like 6 months now. Where are you? You know what I'm saying? It's like playing Where's Waldo with her. People like that can barely, you know, get around and move around at like, 85, 86 years old. It's time to retire. Enjoy the last years of your life. I'm sure you get a pension. You deserve it. You've been there for like, you know what I'm saying, 3 times the time I've been on earth. So go ahead and get you a pension and chill out. Why you need to be on the Supreme Court? Well, I know why. I can answer my own question there. She wants to be on the Supreme Court because she doesn't want to leave and have Trump replace her with a conservative. So she's going to try to live as long as she can to outlive Donald Trump. I think, honestly, if Trump or when Trump gets reelected, she's going to retire. Because it was like, all right, you know, I tried 4 more years. It didn't work out. I'm going to go ahead and just bounce right now. She should have left under Obama. That would have been smart. Either she's trying to wait out Trump or she just doesn't want to leave the bench at all. because if she left during Obama, he would have been able to replace her. If she left like within the first year of his second term, she would have been able to be replaced. But now it's like you got to be there till you're about 1,000 years old. She's going to have to be there until she is like 92 years old almost in order to outlive Trump, so to speak. When I mean by outlive, I mean as far as Trump's presidency, the first term or second term. She's 86 now, so 6 more years would be 92. That's kind of rough, but hey, it is what it is. But hey, you might not be able to make it. Vin says, ABL, when will you be coming to the UK? I don't know. I would love to come to the UK, but I'm not really sure if I'll be able to. It's just a matter of, getting everything straight as far as a flight over there. Like, if anybody wants to bring me over to the UK, I'd love to come. For sure. We'll get to the calls in just a moment, Kevin. Probably about 8:30 or so. Give me about 20 more minutes. And once I get the phone lines jumping, it'll be a phone number in the box. Jonathan Rose says she's a leftist deep state agent and not alive, talking about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I mean, hey, I can't say whether that's true or false. I can't say whether that she's living or not is true or false. But as far as her being deep state agent, I mean, hey, I wouldn't doubt you on that one, boss. The mods might be here, but on the low, you might not see them. They're kind of like undercover. Now, I've seen that whole thing, Borderless from Lauren Southern. Well, I've not seen the documentary, but I heard about it. I heard that it got soft censored. Like, it was in some kind of weird states where you really couldn't find it. I don't know. I'm not really sure what happened with that, but I did hear that it was out. So whenever I get a chance and some time, I'll go check it out for sure. Let me see. Now, what else we got here? Jussie Smollett's case got unsealed. Now, what are they going to find in that case? Are they going to find any, smoking guns? Are they going to find some information that would implicate the state's attorney, Kim Foxx? How about Jussie himself? I think we all know what happened with Jussie, so I'm not sure if anything in those case files is going to reveal more about him. It'll be proof for us that know what's going on that has not really been reported to the media. Like, we all know what he did. We all know why he paid them. We all know the whole situation. I want to see what they were able to find in the investigation. And I also want to see what others may have done around him. And I want to see if the FBI is going to pick up on this. They have the fake letter situation. I want to see if they look into what Jussie was talking about. And, the funny part about his case being unsealed is that the judge in Cook County was like, look, you've been all on TV. You've been doing performances, talking about it out in the open. So if you want to do that, then, okay, you don't have any right to privacy. You've pretty much relinquished that right due to your constant talking about it on social media. If you want to have a certain thing be private, why would you just continue to talk about it openly like that? It doesn't make any sense. AOC, honestly, looks average. Shout out to William. I see you, man. And she's no more than an actress. She's been put there. I mean, it was a whole documentary about this, so I'm not just, hating on her. A documentary, I forget what it's called. Tearing Down the House, if I'm not mistaken. It's on Netflix, or it will come to Netflix very soon. And it got put out by her PAC that put her in the office called either Justice Democrats or Brand New Congress. I think it's called Brand New Congress. Well, she got put in by Justice Democrats and Brand New Congress. But, they said we knew her as Sandy. She was a bartender. And then we put her into this role because we thought she can do well. We put resources behind her. And here we are. We have AOC, the most popular lawmaker on social media, aside from Trump himself. And for them, yeah, she has like the most followers on Twitter, like 2-point-something million or 3 million. I've not been keeping track of it, but it's pretty high. Now, she's not quite catching up to Trump, but she's up there. And all of this is because she was basically casted to be in that particular situation. Some say, oh, we shouldn't talk about AOC, but I spoke a lot about Hillary, and you see how that worked out. Hillary got washed. She could not win certain states, which, eliminated her from the race. It was funny to see her all throughout the campaign squirming, talking about, why aren't I at 50 points? All this and that, because you're not a good candidate. We kept talking about her over and over, wrecking her, and it worked out well. It's weird, all these people talking about white man this, white man that, AOC, one of them, but the boyfriend is like a straight ginger. A ginger, like, Ireland ginger. So it's really weird. These people talk about race all the time, but they have so many contradictions in their own lives. It's weird. Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard is another one. Tulsi Gabbard looks okay. Tulsi Gabbard, nah. A lot of people want to look at her, but voting for her, nah. I don't think you want to have that. Thank you to Shiva Vareen, who says, I saw your red pill video earlier today. It's very similar to mine, about 12 years prior to yours. Please keep real and us in the know, sir. Hey, I will do. Thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. But yeah, that my red pill moment was a turning point in my life for sure, 100%. And shout out to you for watching that. Hopefully that video stays relevant and others are able to watch it and get some kind of inspiration from it. Yeah, Tulsi's not who you want to vote for. Gun grabber, pro-abortion. The only thing that she has that people are attracted to is the whole thing about not being an interventionist. Meanwhile, she was in the military. Meanwhile, she's part of the CFR. And Trump said the exact same thing about not being an interventionist, not being for foreign wars. So I don't understand people think that Tulsi Gabbard will be able to do what they think Trump has not done, which is a lie, because I've not seen Trump start any new wars. There's rumors of wars talking about Iran and Iraq and Syria, but as far as I've been able to tell, there's been no new wars started under Trump. He's been trying to actually stop wars, going to see Kim Jong-un, trying to get him to stop wilding out with the missiles. I've not seen any wars started under Trump where people are ready to leave the so-called Trump train and go to Tulsi Gabbard for just her one campaign promise, which she may or may not be able to fulfill, and they totally ignore all her other principles. The being pro-gun, not pro-gun, pro-gun control and being pro-abortion. How can you really abandon those core principles if you're conservative? I don't get it. Yeah, Joe Biden is simply an old man in the creep, and he is the front runner. That's really weird, because for a long time I thought that it would be Kamala Harris, Cory Booker. I thought they would try to put a black person in there because they have hinged their whole party on identity politics, so they can't. In order for them to be able to win, they can't run a straight white male, because they've been so against that they can't do it anymore. They saw the success with Barack Obama and they want to recreate it. They saw it did not work with Hillary Clinton, so they want to go a different direction. They thought that having the first female would be the equivalent to the first black male, but it's not. And they saw that it's not. So they're pretty much just letting Joe Biden be the front runner. They're abandoning the whole identity thing, and they're going with what they think is the best bet to get the most votes. Okay. They know that they're going to get kickback because he is a straight white male, an old white male, and a guy that broke the crime bill. Then they'll get kicked back for that, but they feel like the upside is better than the downside. So it is what it is. Andrew Yang. All I know about Andrew Yang is a UBI thing. I don't know anything about his policies as far as abortion, immigration, or anything like that. Second Amendment. What I do know is that the UBI thing is not going to work out. They're talking about $1 billion, not $1 billion, $1 trillion to fund this thing. Well, over the course of 10 years or 1 year. Nah, matter of fact, it was like $800 billion in 1 year to fund it. Okay. And then my thing is, even if he was able to fund a UBI, how is it going to help anybody that's poor? Because, excuse me, I got food and stuff. Because here's the thing. if you already have welfare benefits that are the equivalent to $1,000, you won't get any more money. You'll just keep those same welfare benefits, or you will forfeit your welfare benefits to get $1,000 a month. But you've made a lateral move at best because you've not gained anything. So it's like, what's the point? I don't understand. If you are a person that has money, then that's going to help you because you're not on any kind of welfare or any kind of government benefits. Okay. And where's it, like, how are you going to pay for this? People talking about Alaska, but that comes from a private company. That comes from the gas money. That does not come from necessarily the government. It comes from the gas money that is generated in Alaska. But even still, how much is that? Can you live on that every month? I'm not sure. You know? Let me see. Dorsey's Resource says Andrew Yang, he's a communist. He was on the Breakfast Club radio show trying to sell black people on the idea of socialist universal income. Exactly. And then, you know, if the idea is to have everybody make the same amount of money, then that's going to be communism. And you're going to have to remove those that are very intellectual and want to be, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? They want to be creative. They got to go because that kind of goes against the whole plan. Socialism does not ever work. Venezuela is a shining example right now. We can see it. We can actually look at what's happening and we can see the future of a country when it adopts socialism. So it is what it is. Andrew Yang, it just ain't going to work. Now, Theresa May, who's going to be the next prime minister of UK? That's what I want to know. Because she resigns, who's going to take her place? People are saying Boris Johnson from the Conservative Party. I'm not sure how it works. If, like, let's say the prime minister resigns, who is going to take the place of the prime minister? How is that done? Is it from a person from the same party? Does the queen elect? Like, how does that really work? I'm not really sure. You know, because as far as I know, if Trump were to resign, then Pence would step in as a president. You have a, you know, kind of like a chain of command. But how is it for people over in UK? Is there a chain of command, or do you just put whoever you want in there from that same party? That's a question I have. Nah, UBI is not just added income. UBI is added income if you, well, it is added income, but it's not, because here's the thing. If you have welfare benefits that are the equivalent or near equivalent of UBI, you won't get any extra income. If it's near UBI, you would get the difference between what your benefits are valued at and $1,000 a month. So let's say all your benefits are valued at $800 a month. You'll get $200 a month. You won't get the $1,000 because you're already getting $800 in government benefits. So it is added income, but at the same time, it's not, depending upon how much you already get in government benefits, if at all. But thank you for your donation. For your question, your comment, And shout out to Weston King of Music for the donation. Definitely appreciate you. Who says, keep it up, my dude. I will do, man. I really, really appreciate you. And shout out to Carl's Opinion, who says, hey, Mr. Logan, did you hear that Joe Biden was the middleman between the White House and the FBI and ran the January 5th, 2017 meeting that Susan Rice emailed herself about 1 hour before Trump was sworn in? Wow. See, I didn't know that. That's very interesting. Very interesting. I need to look into that and see what's going on. Thank you for your donation and the information, but I got to look into that. I got to look into it. And you know what? I'm not even surprised. Not even surprised. Joe Biden, if there was a way to actually identify what the swamp is, it'd be Joe Biden. 1,000%. All the way. All the way. Paul J 0557 says France called Malo the pop star of hate. Yeah, I see that a lot about people like Malo. You know, it's just people that are popular get villainized because of their views. And it's just kind of weird to me. Boo Peep says Mayor of Tijuana has a red hat that says make Tijuana great again. He's pro-Trump. He wore it for the caravan's arrival. I saw that a while back. That was great. You know, it just lets me know that, you know, people around the world are looking at what we're doing and they're appreciating it because they feel the same way we feel. So we're not alone. A lot of heads of state, local politicians, they're with us. So I'm glad that happened. Dark Duck says, I hear you, ABL. I'm no fan of UBI. May work in a place like Alaska, but there are too many mooches here. Mooches ruin everything. 1,000%. And you know what? The worst thing is that if you come here illegally, sometimes you're able to get government benefits like a UBI. Now that has to stop right there. You got people over here with no social security number, no real home address, getting free tuition or in-state tuition at worst. They're getting all types of Pell Grants and scholarships, ridiculous, not even here legally. And they're living in public housing, which is why Ben Carson was like, nah, if you're in public housing and you are an illegal immigrant, you got to bounce. I don't care about what's going on. You're gonna make people homeless. I don't care if you're homeless. You should have thought about that before you came in here illegally and got into public housing. That's not for you. Don't break the law. How about that? If I break the law, guess what? I go to jail. Ain't gonna be nobody there talking about, oh, he didn't do nothing. He's an illegal. He's trying to flee for safety. Nah, they're gonna say lock him up. He committed a crime, and that's what it's gonna be. It's not gonna be any kind of sorrowful apologies. But let me get to the next super chat. Thank you to Shiva Farine, who says there's a series called The Expanse. They have a UBI, which they call Basic. You cannot work nor improve your circumstances once you are on it. Excellent series. I gotta watch that. Is that at Netflix or Amazon? Where is that at? But that's what they're gonna do. That's called communism. You can't do anything. Like once you on that, that's it. Now UBI, he's saying it wouldn't be that, but that is ultimately what it's gonna have to be to promote so-called equality. UBI, Gabriella, is universal basic income. It's a concept that I suppose every adult would get X amount of money per month guaranteed from the federal government. It doesn't matter if they work, if they don't work, or whatever. However, there are some caveats. If you have any kind of government benefits that you receive right now, you would not get any cash on top of that. If you relinquish your government benefits, you'll get that back. Or if your government benefits are less than $1,000, you get the difference between what your benefits are valued at and $1,000. So let's say you have food stamps for $800 a month. You'll get $200 a month on top of that from UBI because you're already getting $800 or $1,000 right now from food stamps. So you get another $200. That's the remaining balance, if you will, from the $1,000. Which is silly because it's like, what's the point? If it's to help people that are in bad situations, you're not helping them. All you're doing is giving people that have money more money. And I'm not giving it to somebody on the street. If I get $1,000 per month on top of what I make, that's just gonna make me have more money. But a person that actually needs it is going to be in the same situation. So all you doing making things more difficult for them because when you have the UBI, the cost of goods and services is going to rise. If everybody that works has more money, you're going to have certain things start to run out of supply because people have more money to be able to buy it. Therefore, the price is going to raise. If you're talking about higher wages that are mandated by the government, that'll cause prices to raise. So people that have UBI may be able to afford whatever the new price is, but those that don't have UBI are going to be kind of like left in the time of, in times past. They're not going to be able to catch up. So it's like, what's the point in doing that? It doesn't make any sense. Thank you to Kevin, who says, thank you for Debate with Destiny. Hey, I thank you for watching that and appreciating what you saw. 100%. I may do that, Louise. Says you need me in Congress. I may do that. I think that might be my calling. People have been saying that for a long time. My granddad was into politics. I call my dad. He told me something new every day about politics and the world in general. So I feel like I'm just learning. And people already say that I have a lot of knowledge. So I'm going to keep on growing and expanding. Shout out to Carl's Opinion, who says President Obama being smart and setting up someone he didn't like to be the quote unquote fall guy, Joe Biden, on spying on the Trump campaign and not any of his close friends like Valerie Jarrett, et cetera, et cetera. Hilarious. That is a very good point right there, because Valerie Jarrett, that was his right hand, his bestie, if you will. So, okay, just put it on Joe Biden. I don't care. But my friend Valerie, we're going to protect her. Who else got protected? Who was the was Valerie Jarrett the Attorney General at one point in time? I think that was her. After Eric Holder had the whole Fast and Furious kerfuffle happen to her. Nah, it was not Valerie Jarrett. It was who was their Attorney General? The woman after Eric Holder. I can think of her name right now, but it's escaping me. Let me see. I'm gonna research it right quick. Oh, Loretta Lynch. There we go. Loretta Lynch. So you're gonna protect Loretta Lynch. You couldn't really protect your other homeboy, Eric Holder, because y'all got involved in the crazy gun running scheme. But maybe you did protect him because he should have got actually locked up for that. You should have as well. So that was kind of a boneheaded move that could have got both of y'all locked up for running guns. If not both of y'all, somebody in that situation could have went to jail for that. But, okay, Loretta Lynch. There we go. Now, Loretta came after Eric Holder because Eric Holder had the Fast and Furious scandal, and then he had to resign, and then came Loretta Lynch. Loretta Lynch was there in 2017 because she was on the tarmac with Slick Willie when they were investigating Hillary Clinton for the emails. Remember that? On the tarmac for like a half hour, talking on the plane privately. And then she was asked, hey, what were y'all talking about? She's talking about we're talking about grandkids. Please, really? On the tarmac, isn't that important for him to get on your plane? Look, Slick Willie was waiting at the Phoenix airport. I never seen that before in my life. Like, I've been to the Phoenix airport. I never seen somebody waiting on the inside to go outside to a private plane and board their plane to talk to him for a half hour and then bounce. And it's not even really possible. These people, these high-ranked individuals, they don't have time like that. When they go to a particular place, everything is really scheduled. As soon as they touch down, they got to go deplane, and it'll be a car waiting on them, and they got to go straight to the next destination. So for her to just sit on a tarmac for a half hour talking to Slick Willie while she is the Attorney General who is investigating his wife was wild. Super wild. But nothing happened as a result of that. There was no no criminal indictment, nothing. It's just weird. So Kevin Duggan says, debate Dr. Cornel West. Hey, I debate anybody. I don't really care who it is. I've seen Cornel West. I'm not sure what the debate would be about, really, because Cornel West is a strange person. He'll be like, he'll be kind of in agreement with some things that I say, and then he'll also be disagreeing. So I'm not really sure where he stands. And I think he did a tour with Tavis Smiley. I think Tavis is one of these fence riders. I'm not really sure what he'd be debating about. Let me see. Oh, Hunter Biden. Didn't Hunter get caught with a crack pipe in the rental car or something crazy? That's super ironic. You got your daddy wrote the crime bill to punish crack more than powder cocaine. Meanwhile, you get caught with a crack pipe. I mean, who still smokes crack in 2019? You tell me. I mean, what are we doing? And I'm sure you got money. So out of all the drugs in the world, you want to smoke crack? Like, what are we doing? See, that right there, that's a mental problem right there. I mean, you could be getting all types of designer stuff, untraceable. You want to smoke crack and leave the pipe in the car? It's carelessness. And that's also a pure dope fiend. A pure dope fiend that has no control over themselves. All right. Now, who was the son that got a Chinese deal? Tell me that wasn't Hunter. Hopefully that was Bo or somebody else that passed away. Rest in peace. Hopefully that was not Hunter, crack smoker. How you gonna be a crack smoker and get a $1 million Chinese deal? How does that work? I be seeing people out here all the time of all different races on drugs. If I could put them on the plane and say, hey, talk to Xi Jinping and say, give me some money and it'll work, then I'd do it. But obviously you got the connection between Joe Biden and the Chinese government through the son, whoever it is. Yeah, daddy's got money, so it's like, what are we doing? Like, why are you on crack out of all the drugs in the world? That's some old 1988 stuff. We're 2019 now. Let that old stuff go. It's like, having a rotary phone in your house like it's a cell phone. It's like, update, man. Come on, what are we doing? Yeah, carrying it around with him. I'm not really sure what's going on with Hunter. With the entire Biden squad, it's a really weird situation. Thank you to Vinny for the donation who says, Black Lives Matter. Best ABL saying, and UK fan. Shout out to the UK. Big up. Hopefully, you guys are able to move on from Theresa May and get you a real prime minister in there that can get Brexit done. And the thing about it is, I'm not sure if a prime minister is going to be able to do that. If that's going to be the actual next foot to drop, so to speak, to get that whole situation accomplished. Yeah, exactly. T-Hole Lokes. I've never seen a successful crack smoker. If you on crack, I'm not really sure you're going to be able to rise to success. I've never heard anybody say, I'm a billionaire today, and last night I had a pipe in the car and I was getting geeked up behind the check cashing. I mean, that don't really happen, but I kind of digress off of that for now. But hey, that's going to be something that is brought up when Joe Biden is out there trying to become the president. That's going to be a case that gets mentioned. What's going on with your son out here doing these drugs? What's going on with you touching these little kids and these women just really strangely? What's going on with that, sir? That's going to be all brought up. And I can't wait to see the debate. I mean, to see Trump debate Joe Biden would just be, it'd be marvelous. Marvelous, I say. And it'd be even funnier to see how the liberal media will handle this whole situation. They keep talking about white man bad, orange man bad, old white man bad, old rich white man bad. Meanwhile, Joe Biden is rich old white man. So how do we really square that? When you have Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Tulsi Gabbard, Elizabeth Warren, all these people that are not straight white, and then Pete Buttigieg, whatever his name is, they're going to say, you have all these diverse people over here, and you pick this guy, a fossil, a white male. That's going to be hilarious to see how that works. But we're going to get to the calls. Thank y'all for being here. We got 207 live in the building. Please give me a thumbs up on the video. It is free. It don't cost you nothing. And if you are not subscribed, pardon me. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. There's a button underneath me, and it should say subscribe in red. If you are not subscribed, it should be red. Click that, make it gray, and there should be a bell beside it. Click on that bell for me as well so you get notified whenever I go live or post a new video. Alrighty? Yeah, shout out to Robert Mercer for donating right around $40 million to 400 black men that are that have graduated Morehouse University. And do you know people had the nerve to try and criticize that man for that? Look, I don't care who he is married to. I don't care I don't care if Robert Mercer is a crackhead. If you donate $40 million, what can you really say? As long as the money's not stolen or illegal or something crazy like that, then that's all right. Go ahead and, do a good deed. Whatever deed I do, it should be appreciated or not. Don't try to bring up my personal life and stuff like that. That's how that is. But we'll move on and get to some more calls. Alrighty. Now, if anyone has any questions, let me know. But the best way to go about it is super chat like my man Kevin Duggan did, who says Trump on Team Robert Mercer. Thank you for the donation. Super chat it so I don't miss it, because sometimes I got dual monitors and I'm missing stuff. I can't always see everybody's question, but I try my best. All right, let's go ahead and turn on Skype. Hopefully it doesn't really crap out on me. Robert Smith. Oh, okay. I'm tripping. I guess somebody was talking about Robert Mercer. I'm not sure who that is. Alrighty.
Man, that was quick.
Yeah, man, you got in right on time, man. Good timing.
I'll tell you what. Let me get out of this place, man. It's a little noisy. All right, I'm gonna come out in God's green earth. Yeah, I decided to go out for dinner, and I caught you on the while I was sitting down. I had one of my favorite sandwiches. How you been, man?
All right, everything's been good, man. Can't complain. How about yourself?
What's up? Well, not too bad. Look at the beautiful sky here in southern Michigan. Not a single chemtrail. Look at that. I'm spinning circles here.
I see.
Not a single. Yeah, it's beautiful, huh? So I got my communication tower. So you see that?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that. My big comm tower right there. So we got a good signal.
No doubt. Like you right up under it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. So what do you got on the itinerary today? What's on the docket?
Talking about Theresa May.
She quit her job. I don't like this. You guys suck. I'm taking my ball. I'm going home.
Hey, pretty much had to go. Had to get up out of there.
Yeah, she cried too. I saw that.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. It's like, all right, why are you crying? And it seemed kind of like forced, in my opinion. I'm not really sure about that one.
I don't know. She was emotionally attached to that EU. Maybe she had some guy, some of those Italians over there. You know how they are.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
Some of those Italians probably, hey, you're going to do this,
Right.
Yeah, that could have been a scary situation. Who knows? Maybe she, that's kind of like Pelosi and the Mexican mafia down there. You never know what she's going. She got to get something passed,
No doubt.
So she probably got a lot of time and effort invested in that. So we don't know. We don't know that for sure. What else you got?
Let me see, because I'm not. This ain't really my part of the thing. Hold on.
All right.
Okay, we got Ben Carson and the whole Oreo situation.
Oh, that was funny. Yeah, that was kind of funny. He kind of like you said. I think he in your video. I think he might be a little hard of hearing. He is up there about 70 years old, and he's like, "What? Excuse me?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, okay, I got you now." But we all do that sometimes. We have misunderstandings, and we figure it out.
That's right.
But and plus, yeah, I mean, this isn't his. He's going in a room with a room full of especially the one lady. She's a specialist, If he'd asked her, what a synapse was, she probably wouldn't be able to tell him,
Right.
You know what a synapse is, don't you?
I have no idea.
It's like the little electrical connection in between your brain and your nerves.
Okay.
In your brain.
Okay.
Yeah, the little tiny. It's like little threads that connect everything. It's like little wires,
Got you.
that connect everything together. Yeah, little synapse. But you see, just like that, you can't unless you really studied this stuff. You don't know what it is. I had a friend with polio, and I had to learn this stuff. So, anyhow, yeah. So Ben Carson, God bless him. He's a heck of a nice guy, and he got put in a position where he's in front, and they do this all the time, especially Congress. They do it all the time. They'll sit there and try to make a mockery out of somebody, and they'll try to. And then as soon as Barr decides he wants to get out of the deal, says, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do what you guys want to do. I want to do what I want to do. They start throwing around chickens and eating, they're making a mockery of the whole Congress, eating chicken right there on the floor.
Yeah, that was crazy. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you eating KFC? And then it was weird. Try to hand something out to people. It's like, man, look, don't involve others in your weird little scheme. Just eat your chicken over there and have that be on you, not anybody else.
Oh, did you see Nadler short circuit today?
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh my God. I mean, God be with him. My prayers go to him, but man, I mean, I think he's having a panic attack. I don't think that was
Well, I thought it was diabetes. Because
I don't know. When they're declassifying stuff and his name's on that docket, and he's looking. I mean, I think all the Democrats are panicking right now, and that definitely looked like a panic attack.
Could have been.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, they're having a panic. They're having a panic attack. So I think that's what's going on in real life. Is I think he was just freaking out. He was just freaking out. That's all,
Hey, that's possible.
in my opinion.
That's possible.
All right. So yeah, I'm enjoying the beautiful sunlight and here in Michigan. It's going to be it's good. It already has been a gorgeous day. It's going to end real soon though. Um, love your show. Everybody hit the thumbs up. Hey, it's a shout out to your moderators. You know, they're wonderful people. I wrote something in text, but I think about those guys. They got a heck of a job. You know, keeping this channel straight.
Yeah, the mods are great. Shout out to the mods.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, check out that merch at ABL. And hey, what's the best way to contact you offline? Just through your email?
Email is the best way. Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, I say email is the best way. Can you hear me?
Okay, email's the best way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you fine. So yeah, I'll send you a couple of those dank memes that I make, and I'll hit you on the email because I've tried every other avenue, and yeah, I know you're a busy man, you know. But if you check your email more often than anything, I'll hit you on the email.
All right, man. Well, thank you for the call as always, man. Definitely appreciate you.
You know, I got nothing love for you, and happy. What was yesterday? Happy Declassification Friday.
There you go.
We're gonna see what that thing has. We're gonna see what it's. I think Trump just got really mad and said, "Hey, you know what? You guys, you peed me. Oh, you know, you made me mad. So here we go."
Hey, we're gonna see it
because he knows what's in
Hey,
there.
but we're gonna see it.
He's seen he's seen it already unredacted, so he knows what's in it.
No doubt, man. But thank you for the call.
All right, you bless you guys.
All right, now.
Peace out.
My fault. I gotta turn the ringer off. I mean, you know, you would think that I would know how to do it right now. That I've done it so much that it would just come second nature, but it's not always like that. Hold on. Let me just turn that off. You guys can't hear it. I turned the desktop audio off, but I can hear it. And it's wearing me out. There we go. That should do it. Hold on. Okay. Alrighty, caller, you on the line, 617.
Hey, ABL. It's Al from Florida.
All right, Al, what's going on?
Hey, man. So I wanted to mention to you, well, first thing, got a bunch of things, but I'm just going to mention just one or two things. Have you heard about this thing with California and a few other states? I think it's Oregon, Washington, there's a few states. But California specifically about it's breaking up into 3 different states.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Yes, Northern California, California, and then I think like inland California, like towards southern, down to like San Diego County. Yeah, I've heard about that.
Okay, I was wondering what your thoughts were on that.
I mean, I think it might be the best way to go about it because, I mean, states really probably shouldn't be that big, especially California. Northern California is way different than Southern California. The Bay Area is its own little thing. San Francisco is its own little thing. On the East Coast, it's not like that. The states aren't that big, except for Florida. But in
New York,
in New York, but New York isn't even really that big compared to California. California is humongous. And the thing about it, on the East Coast, you got South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, D.C., Delaware, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire. Like, you got so many states over there versus on the West Coast where it's just 3 states and one of them is humongous. So it probably should be broken up. And then the thing about it is a lot of people in California feel like they kind of left out because they are dominated by the big areas, San Francisco and Los Angeles.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing is that you got the Orange County area and all around the coast there. It's all these very lefty people, but they're dictating policies for the entire state. And you've got very conservative people in that state. I mean, you've got farms and all sorts of, very conservative type people out there. And it sounds like they're just out of money completely. And the only solution is to allow them to break up into 3 states. I mean, it seems like it's happening. Actually, there's, I don't know what they call it when that becomes a thing where people can decide. But in other states too, I think it's Washington, there's Oregon, I think even Illinois is thinking about it. So it's definitely something to look into. I just started hearing about it, and I'm like, oh man, yeah, that's probably what they need. Because if you had a few conservative states next to them, it would help. They could spill over some of their progress, some of their economic growth from their conservative policies could spill over to the more liberal spots, and it could help everybody out.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so one of the things I want to say about Nadler is, so, you know, I hope he's okay and everything, because I hate, if you watch that video, I mean, he looks bad.
Yeah, it does.
Did you catch a while back when Matthew Whitaker was the acting attorney general? You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, big man, looking like Bane.
Yeah, he was like a power lifter, like a deadlifter. Yeah. Football player type dude. All right, this guy, I would encourage you to watch. It's a while back, but he did some sort of a congressional hearing, you know, where they all just berated him, and he didn't care because he was just active. He was just acting attorney general for a week, and he wiped the floor with these goofballs. And the thing is that it's hilarious. I downloaded it. I have it on my computer because I was like, they're not going to let this stay on YouTube. But it's hilarious. And what I think is happening is that with these Democrats, in my mind, they feel like they're unchallenged. Like their opinions or their policies they have all this power. They've had all this power, especially during the Obama administration, and they're not being challenged with intellectual, honest debate. And so you can see that they are not that smart anymore, especially in this case with Matthew Whitaker going up against them. He wiped the floor with them. This was the case where he was like, or this was this particular thing that happened where Nadler was, you know, grilling him, and then Matthew Whitaker was like, well, it looks like you're out of 5 minutes. Your 5 minutes is up, Matthew. And so he didn't answer the question because he didn't care. Right. So if you watch that, you'll see. So the point is that I feel like sometimes these people don't realize how it destroys their minds with the lies that they tell and the amount of the keeping up in their minds that they have to do of these lies. And I think it has, you can see it with Nancy Pelosi too, or a lot of these people, that it's taking its toll on their brains.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right about that, because at a certain point, if you got to keep saying the same thing over and over again, and you're not necessarily a Hollywood trained actor, you might begin to believe it and internalize it. So, I mean, here we are with Pelosi. I mean, this is what you've become. And then also, if you are lying, you're not necessarily going to be very coherent in your speech because you're trying to remember certain things rather than just, you know, saying them straight from your heart. So it could cause somebody like Nancy Pelosi to kind of have a little malfunction, be stumbling and stambling all over her speech.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's just, we're human beings. I mean, and it's not good for a human being to lie consistently and to know that you're lying, because these people are smart. A lot of them are smart. I mean, AOC, it's debatable, and I think it's a big act, but debatable. Some of them seem like they're not that smart, but I think someone like Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer, these people are smart. I mean, the fact that they don't believe their lies. They're telling the lies because they want power. And after a while, we're all human beings. We all have a sense of right and wrong, depending on how you think about it. But you know, it will take its toll on your inner being, however you want to look at soul or whatever. It's going to take an inner toll, and that's what I think is happening. And I think ultimately that's why these types of, you know, suppressive, communist, whatever, globalist, whatever the word is you want to use to describe these sort of perpetuation of lies and obfuscation of truth, this kind of thing takes its toll on you personally, and you can see it with some of these people. So I hope people can see that. Don't vote for these people anymore.
I'm with you, man.
All right. Well, good talking to you, brother.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Take care.
All right, now. All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. You guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. I thank you all for calling in. I most certainly appreciate you. And shout out to the mods. Hey, a lot of comments are getting deleted. If somebody's not like cursing or saying very vulgar things, leave them alone, please. But I thank you all for, your work, but please leave them alone if they're not doing any kind of real vulgar stuff. I'd appreciate it if you did that for me. All righty. Exactly, Shreeps. Skype is crazy. It installs itself whenever it wants. I don't know what's going on. But let me get to my next call here. Shout out to everybody in the chat, all the mods. You guys are great. 702, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Robert in Vegas.
All righty. What's going on?
Hey, I'm going to take you a little bit off the beaten path here for a sec. You ever read the David Weber series, Honor Harrington?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's going back about 15 years. It's about 20 books long. But I was rereading them, and I'm like, holy crap, this stuff is starting to sound a little familiar. He's talking about stuff about 15 years ago in these books, which is taken, it's in the future. But, yeah, it's talking about all these different civilizations, but all the stuff that's happening in these civilizations, you can actually almost word for word out of the news right now. It's crazy.
Now, when was this written?
Actually, the series started about 15 years ago.
Oh, wow, okay.
But some of the books 5 years or about 10 years ago, you can actually almost word for word what's coming off the TV is in these books talking about these different governments on these different planets. Because they got something called a basic living stipend in one of them, which is basically money for everybody. And the government is, basically running on broke. It just, stealing from one people to give to another. And basically all they go out and do is conquer other countries or other planets to pay for these people so they can sit around and do nothing. So right. you might have to look at the, what happened if we run out of money? Well, where could we get some money? We'd have to take some places that got something, right?
That's right.
So start some wars to pay off the bills. Also, there's another one is a great way of voting. I'd never even thought about it before, but okay. No taxation without representation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why do you get to vote if you're collecting more than you're paying in? You are not paying taxes, so you actually are not contributing to the state, so why should you get a vote? Because it's not taxation without representation if you're not paying taxes.
Well, what if you're in a situation where you kind of like let's say the election comes around and you just got laid off and you've not been able to find a job in the past 6 months. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, how do you?
Well, but here's the thing. You have already paid into the system for all the time you've been working. So you would still be on the plus side.
So at what point at what point are you not on the plus side?
$1. If you collect $1 less than you put in, you can vote.
So if you've ever worked before, even if for a short period of time you're able to vote.
Well, that's just it. No, you have to show a series of, paying in, and the off work is a, in between jobs type thing. But we're not talking about people that have been out of work for a week, month, a year. We're talking that have never worked.
Right.
And there's a lot of people like that have never worked a day in their life, but have collected for decades. So why should they get the right to vote if they have not paid to play? It's pay to play.
Well, I
So
mean,
what do you think about that?
I don't know if I agree with that one because I feel like it'd be kind of. I think we just need to focus on getting people that are here legally to vote and getting voter ID. I think that'd probably be the best thing. I'm not really sure about, the work requirement to vote.
Well, okay. Well, there's another one. Okay, the next election, 2020, right? Okay. Say now all these states are going. We're giving all our electoral votes to the president that wins the popular vote. Right? Have you heard about that? My state just screwed it up and signed on to it, Nevada.
Okay, I've not heard about that.
You haven't heard about that? Yeah, states are signing up to basically, if their state goes.
Oh no,
red,
yeah. I've heard that where they say, if their state goes for a particular person, they're going to send their electors to vote for that person rather than. No. Hold on. Let me back up.
No.
The popular, whoever wins the popular vote, they'll send their electors to vote for that person, although their state may have voted for a different person. But that won't go anywhere because you have to. That'll get challenged in court, and it won't go anywhere because that'll violate the electoral college, and you can't do that.
That's what. But they're putting it on the bill. Look at California. They're trying. Have you seen that one that just came out? California is trying to take Trump off the ballot.
Yeah, they're trying. They're trying to, but that's gonna be in order for them to be able to do it. Like if they try to do that, it'll get challenged right away in the court. So,
I agree.
So I'm not sure that they'll be able to actually implement that right now because of the court situation was tied up until after the election was over, and then they would lose.
Yep. Okay, now we go back to that what you were saying about the voting. Now, what happens if the popular vote is for the Democrat? But here's the big caveat. How many of those votes are from illegal aliens? And because of the way the rules are set up, you have to, You have to, what's the word? You have to pick each person. You have to do one vote at a time to claim that they are not an illegal citizen. Remember they were doing that down in Texas for the last election?
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, they were the Attorney General for Texas was looking into all the falsified votes going for governor. Okay. Because there was a bunch of illegal aliens that were voting in the election because my state did it again. They joined the rush to, if you get a driver's license, they automatically put you in to vote.
Yeah. But my thing is, how are you getting a license if you're not here legally? I don't get it.
Oh, let me tell you. Yeah, you can work around any law that there is. Yeah. I mean, hey, if you can get a gun without a license, right?
Yeah, but that's a little different because you can get a gun on the street, or from a private person. Exactly. But but a driver's license, that's something that you got to go through the government to get. So how do you get that from the government if you're here illegally? I mean, don't you need some kind of identification or something to say that you are here legally, that you're a citizen, you live where you say you live? Like, how does that work?
Exactly. How does it work? How are these people coming up with all these driver's licenses? California's giving out driver's license to illegal aliens.
That's crazy.
So they're signing them up right away to vote.
Yeah.
Because it's on the books where if you go in for your license, you're signed up to vote.
Wow.
So in a state with like California, how many of the votes are actually going to be legal votes? And then if you can only I'm trying to think of the word, you're trying to oh man, this is killing me. You're saying that the vote is illegal vote because he's an illegal citizen, but you got to basically go in there and say, okay, this is the guy, this guy, and you got to basically do it right away, otherwise the votes count no matter what.
No.
So if you got a bunch of illegals voting, how is this going to work with the popular vote, and then basically overturning the electoral college? It's gonna be a confusing election.
It will be very confusing, man. But I got a bunch of calls on the line, so thank you for your
Yeah,
call.
no problem. You have a great night.
Thank you, man. I definitely appreciate you. All right, shout out to the caller. Now, I got a couple things here I got to say in the chat. Somebody said that I made a video about them. I was disrespectful. I mean, all the videos here are my opinion. If there's anything that, the only thing that could be removed in the video was if I'm harassing you, which I don't harass people. And also if I'm using copyrighted content, which I'm not. So, I mean, if you want me to take it down, if you have like a real request that you want to send it to me in the email. I might get rid of it, but you can't just say lawyers going to get involved because they can't really interfere. They're not going to be able to do nothing because it's got to be something that will violate YouTube's policy, which that ain't it. So you can't threaten me with a lawyer. Just send me an email, and if I agree with what you're saying, or I might just want to take it down just to be a nice guy, I could do that. I'm an approachable person, but don't try to threaten me with a lawyer. And then to the moderator, please leave the people that aren't doing anything really wrong alone, please, because I'm not trying to push people away. I want to have a nice, cool space for everybody to come and feel like they're welcome. So that's all I got. Anybody want to say something to me? Email is contact@anthonyblogan.com. I'm open to whatever you guys want to say. Okay, so hopefully we good and we gonna have no more problems. Y'all ain't gonna wear me out. Y'all ain't gonna wear me out today. Hold on. I'm gonna just I'm gonna try to get to my next call here. All right, at 985, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi.
Caller, you're very low. I can barely hear you.
Okay, well, let me try to turn you up. Can you hear me now?
I hear you.
Okay. I just have a couple of things to say. As far as Nadler, the truth is killing the Dems. Literally killing them. They're dropping off like flies. That's what happens when people hear the truth. And the other thing is Barr saying he's going to get to the bottom of who killed Seth Rich. He just signed his own suicide note with Hillary.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what it sounds like with it seemed like somebody did something to him. I think even Donna Brazile got on television and said that, what's going on with Seth Rich, how did that happen? And I think that was mentioned in the context of Hillary Clinton and her scandals. So, yeah, there's definitely some smoke there. And when there's smoke, there probably is fire.
Right. If it was a robbery like they claim, how come his money wasn't taken? Why was it the only thing taken was his laptop? They didn't take his jewelry. They didn't take his credit card. They didn't take his cash. The only thing they took was his laptop. Why? If that was a robbery.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And he had things on Hillary. So guess what? She suicided him. And now Barr is saying he's going to get to the bottom of who killed Seth Rich. So now he has a suicide note waiting for him with Hillary. Because everybody that was going to testify against her all magically, committed suicide.
Right.
So now he just signed his own little suicide note with Hillary because she's going to get him. Before he can do anything against her, he's going to turn up dead. Either he's going to magically drown himself in an ocean, or somehow he's just going to die. They would never tell the truth of what really happened.
Right.
And that's about all I wanted to tell you, so you can get on to the next caller.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, now. All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. All right, caller 856, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, this is Sean calling. How you doing, brother?
Everything's great, man. Can't complain.
Thanks. This is my first time calling in. I'm surprised I got in. It's my sixth time calling, so I guess I had some luck today.
Oh, definitely.
So just a couple of things. One, I just started following you maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I always have a bunch of YouTube feeds that I try to listen to. And whenever yours comes on, I have to stop and listen. So that's usually, I think, daily I get your feeds. So I really enjoy your content, and it's really an honor to talk to you right now.
Well, I'm glad you're able to get through. I'm glad you're enjoying the content, man. So, what's on your mind tonight? What's happening?
A couple of things, man. One thing I wanted to ask you about, or two things I wanted to ask you about, was this. I come from a Muslim household, not me per se. I ended up leaving, and one of the things that I personally had to struggle with was how Islam in particular seems to, I would say, borderline bamboozle black folks in America in particular, with how it's portrayed as a quote-unquote religion of a black man. But if you look at the actual history of Islam and its backstory, it's anything but. Slavery was still enacted in Saudi Arabia from like 1970 and 1975. It was actually one of the reasons why we had the embargo. It was one of the terms in terms of like the embargo or something like that with King Faisal. And even today, blacks that are there or Africans that are there are definitely treated differently than the Arabs. Even in the slave trade that we had, people always like to say it was a white man that did it, but it really wasn't. It was the Arabs. It was the Arabs that were the ones that caused the enslaving and would cause what you had in terms of like rounding up the folks, and then when white folks would come in particular the people who would visit, they would be the ones that get sold. And it's unfortunate. So my question to you is this: What are your thoughts in terms of how Islam is working itself within the black community, and do you see that this is something that needs to have more attention?
Okay, say that one more time for me, please.
I was saying that with regards to Islam,
yeah,
it has a strong presence within the African American community. Yet, if you look at the history of Islam, it's anything but.
Yeah.
It's actually quite the opposite.
Right.
Of that. If you look at hadith and certain scriptures within the Islamic within Islam, there's clearly references within Sahih Bukhari which state that if somebody.
I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. But what was the question?
My question is this: how do you think Black Americans could be more well informed for the ones who have an interest in Islam and who think that this is the religion of maybe their forefathers, when in actuality it's far from the case?
Well, I mean, the only way to get informed is to actually read and do some research. But here's the thing about that. A lot of black folks aren't even really practicing Islam the same way a lot of black folks don't practice Christianity, although they think that they do. Like a prime example would be the Nation of Islam. That's not Islam, really. That's like an offshoot of Islam mixed with some. It's like Nation of Islam is like Black Baptist Southern preacher mixed with some Islamic text, but it's not quite Islam. So it's like their own little version of it. So I mean, once people start to really read and research and understand what's going on, then they're able to see that Islam ain't for them. It's not their forefathers. And if their forefathers were of the Islamic faith, it probably was due to it being forced upon them by the sword, which is how Islam spread throughout most of the world. So, I mean, it's all about information. But, you know, if somebody wants to adhere to that and they think they found all the info they need, it's hard to really convince them otherwise.
Right. I mean, a prime example I think of that is like if you ever look at the story of Muhammad Ali, you know, his name was obviously Cassius Clay, but when you changed it to Muhammad Ali, obviously he was giving reference to the Prophet. And what was crazy about it was, you know, he changed his name to somebody who was a slave owner, who advocated slavery, and, you know, basically hated anything that was black. But his old name, Cassius Clay, was actually that of an abolitionist. and one
Right.
who worked hard to free slaves and do whatever was necessary to bring Black folks to a higher standard. And I just found that to be extremely ironic.
Yeah, it is. But Muhammad Ali was around Nation of Islam type guys. He was around all around like all the Farrakhan and Malcolm X types. So it's just a matter of people being taught a certain thing. Then it's like, oh, okay, that makes more sense to me. Even though it's really what it is people that are just trying to find some kind of thing to fill an empty void or something to be a part of. They feel like Christianity's not doing the trick, so I'm gonna go over here with this smooth talking guy with the suit and the bow tie talking about Islam this, Islam that, and then I'm going to go over there and do that. That's usually how these things operate, and then sometimes guys get locked up, and then they become converted that way into Islam. So
yeah. You forgot the bean pies, but it's all good.
Yeah, the bean pies. Yeah.
So, two more things, and I'll let you go. I promise. As I started getting to know you, I know about your content and stuff, but is there anywhere, I guess, on the net where if people wanted to know more about you, is there like a Facebook page or like your own site where they could get to know more about you?
Well, I got a website. On the website, it's like a bunch of links to my other pages. I have a brief bio on there about me, but I mean, I just did an interview with the Hayes brothers, and shout out to them. And I saw a little bit about myself, and I've done some Q&As on my channel. I may do another Q&A just about me coming up here pretty soon for my 300,000 subscriber celebration. I may do something like that, so you know more about me. But I do have a Facebook page and Twitter and Instagram. All that's on my website.
All right. And congratulations on almost hitting that 300,000. That's a big deal, man.
All right, thank you for that, man. Really, really appreciate that. It's definitely something that I couldn't have done without y'all.
Yeah. Lastly, it looks like we might have a international NBA Finals. Your thoughts on the possibility of that, and did you ever expect Kawhi Leonard to be this good?
Oh wow, yeah. First, I'm a Milwaukee Bucks fan. I've been a Bucks fan since I've been in high school. Like ever since Ray Allen, Sam Cassell, Glenn Robertson, Big Dog. Yeah, I've been a fan since then, and so I've never really switched at all. And I'm glad that we got Giannis. Giannis is great. He's going to be the face of the NBA, probably the best player. He's young. He's only like 24, born 1994, young man. So he'll be great for a long time. Kawhi Leonard, I never thought he could be this good, but then again, he was always kind of like a quiet person. See, LeBron is so kind of like flamboyant and just out there and me, but Kawhi was always just a guy that played basketball and nothing else. So to see him do well isn't really necessarily surprising. It's just something that you don't see from a guy that's that quiet and that unsuspecting.
Yeah, it is. I knew that he was good because of when the Spurs won, and he was one of the reasons why they won. I think it was maybe 2007, but like he shut down LeBron. Yeah, and that's what I remembered about him. But AB, I think it's fair to say I did not expect him to be this, like just shutting down. He's like a one-man team. I think that if when Golden State and Toronto meet, and if they do, I think people are going to be sleeping a little bit on the Raptors because I think that they can put in some work. I'm not going to say that they're going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to 7.
Hey, I think that might be right there. That'd be a fantastic series to see.
Both have shooters. Both have marquee players. Well, one marquee player versus 3. But the thing about the Raptors is that they have shooters, and the thing is they have actually the best shooters in the NBA. A lot of people don't know that.
That's right. Yeah.
If you can put them in Golden State and keep that rock, past the paint, I think that they can do their thing. I really do.
I believe you're right, man. It's going to be interesting either way.
Yeah, absolutely. First time we're going to have an international NBA Finals, it looks like.
Definitely.
Yeah, sorry about your Bucks, but it's all good.
Hey, it's all good, man. Like I think that we got this game right now. We're up, so we'll see.
Right. So, 2020 is coming up.
Yeah.
And one of the things that President Trump did that was, remarkable for a Republican was his support among African Americans.
Yeah.
I believe it was 8% versus like Mitt Romney and like George Bush, where I don't even think it broke past 2. In 2020, do you think that those numbers will break past like the teens? And do you think President Trump is going to make a bigger push towards the African American community, given some of the highlights that has been in his administration?
I think that he's going to push into the teens overall because of the black male support, some black female support. But here's a stat for you. In 2016, according to the exit polls, 20% of black males under the age of 30 voted for Trump versus like 1% of black females in that same age group, unfortunately.
Right.
Now, that's not necessarily to be like on this whole gender war, the women versus the men or whatever. That's just kind of a thing that happens. Nationally, 55% of men vote conservative, while it's like 45% of the women. That's just kind of how it is. Women tend to be a little bit more liberal than the men. So if you have more of the men that are on board, I think you'll see the numbers go into the teens, and then some of the men will be able to lead their women to vote in the same way they vote. So I think you'll see more into the teens. I'm not quite sure how far, maybe like 12 to 13. If the Democratic vote and the black vote goes below like 90, or if it goes below 85%, the Democrats can't win.
Trouble.
It's over.
They're in trouble.
Yeah, it's over. And they know that. That's why they're trying to fight so hard to keep that voting block intact.
Yeah. And, you know, I think you do a great job of exposing some of these lies that these Democrats do. You know, the prime example is the notion of abortion. Ever since I think it was Roe versus Wade, you gave the statistic 20 million black babies have died because of that. And that's something that they want to enact and even go past, like, you know, third term or when the child is born. I can't even think of that. It's murder.
It's 100% murder, man. But I got a lot of calls on the line. I thank you for the call, man. It's been a great one.
Go ahead.
It's been a great call, man. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And sorry for taking so long.
Oh, it's all good, man.
Thank you.
All right now.
Take care. God.
I didn't mean to hang up on him like that, but God bless you, man. Thank you for the call. I really appreciate it. Yeah. So shout out to all the basketball fans out there. I've been a basketball fan my whole life. Love basketball. My team is the Bucks. We're going to win tonight, and we're going to win in Milwaukee. Fear the deer. You already know what it is. It'd be nice to go to Toronto after international finals, but that's not going to happen. We're not going through any more customs checks. We're not going to, you know, eat any more poutine or nothing like that in Toronto. None of that. We're just going to go win and beat the Warriors. But let me get to my next call here. All right, I had a caller on the line. I wanted to get, hold on. Unknown caller on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Aaron.
All right, what's going on?
I'm all right. Are you all right?
Huh?
Is this Anthony Logan, Brian Logan?
This is me. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, Aaron. I'm calling in for the show.
All right, Aaron. What's going on?
Oh, I'm all right. I'm just calling in to talk about Theresa May going.
Okay, yeah, Theresa May. So, I presume you're in UK?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
So, what's going on with the whole situation, and how do you feel? Just tell me about the whole thing.
Well, with her going, I'm not surprised that she's gone. I'm surprised that she went so quickly, because traditionally getting rid of prime ministers of either party generally takes a few months. But her going, not that surprising. When people talk about her being a traitor and being anti-Brexit, I don't agree with that. On the European issue, she was never particularly interested in it. During the referendum, she was called the submarine because she didn't appear anywhere. So her not succeeding with the Brexit negotiations are not surprising, but I think she did try her best. Now, when it comes to who will succeed her, I think it's either going to be Boris Johnson or there's another politician called Dominic Raab who is likely to succeed her. No, I think Ra's most likely going to succeed her because he tomorrow will have a full-page article in the Mail on Sunday, which is the Sunday edition of the Daily Mail. And the Daily Mail has a good tradition of backing the winners in Tory party leadership elections. So Rob might be the dark horse who might win the election, the leadership election.
Now, how does that work? When somebody resigns, and if they're the prime minister, does a person get appointed from within the same party? Is there a line of succession from people that are currently in the office? How does that actually work? Because over here in the States, if Trump were to resign, if I'm not mistaken, Pence would step in and be the president. That's kind of how it would work. So how does it work over there in UK?
Well, when it comes when she stands as a prime minister, there'll be an interim leader who will cover the period between her resignation, official resignation, which is in the beginning of June, and when the new leader gets elected. And that'll most likely be a politician called David Lidington. Now, what happens with the election of the new leader is that the party in government elects among the MPs, if it's the Conservative Party, who is, among the MPs, elects the particular candidate they want. And so that's what's happening here. So you've had Rob, you've had Boris Johnson, various other MPs standing forward. They'll go through, it's a two-election process. So they'll have a first ballot, which will knock down the the candidates to two candidates, and then they'll go for the second ballot, which will knock down to the final candidate who will get then elected as a leader, and then they will be appointed prime minister.
Okay.
So it pretty much is within the Conservative Parliamentary Party where the leadership, the next leader will come from.
All right. Now, my question would be about Brexit. Is this going to actually happen? Does it really matter who's the prime minister, or is it a thing that's kind of beyond the prime minister's control? And who would be the best person to make this happen if the prime minister had a direct impact on the situation?
Well, I think when it comes to the leadership of the party to Brexit, Brexit will happen, and it really depends on pretty much which Brexiteer gets elected as leader. Because if it's somebody like Boris Johnson or Dominic Raab or either another candidate called Andrea Leadsom, what they will essentially do is say about Brexit, they'll say either you to the EU, they'll say either renegotiate or we'll leave on the 31st of October. Now, if it's one of the other candidates, that might not necessarily happen. But I think just because the EU won't renegotiate, you'll end up leaving on the 31st of May anyway. Sorry, the 31st of October anyway, because Parliament won't support any deal that could be any deal that's currently there, but they can't actually, for all of their grandstanding, stop the UK from leaving the EU itself. Okay, so they're
what's the point of the deal then? If the UK can leave without a deal, why have a deal?
Oh, that's because the politicians, particularly the Remainers, were trying to water Brexit down.
Okay, I see.
And Parliament sort of split between Leave, Remain, and people in the middle. And no deal will satisfy all three factions. And so any deal that they will try to put forward will get rejected because the people who I support to want to leave obviously are going to want to leave with a deal or without, either with a deal or without one. The Remainers want a second referendum so they can reverse Brexit, and the people in the middle want to try and come up with a compromise between the two, which means watering down Brexit.
I see. Okay, I understand now. Because I thought it had to be just a deal in order to exit. I didn't know how the whole process worked. So it's just a matter of trying to please people in Parliament. It's not really necessarily a requirement for exit.
No, not at all. No, pretty much, as I think will happen on the 31st of October, we will leave without a deal.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. When it comes to, there is one other issue though, which is that we haven't had a general election since where we had a general election in 2017, and there might need to be a general election in the next year or so for the new leader, just so they've got a bit of democratic legitimacy. They've gone to the country and got a majority. But I think that will only occur after we've left the EU.
Okay.
So but there's a lot of talk as well about a second referendum, but that won't ever take off because the Conservative Party would not support a second referendum. I'm not sure if you've heard about what happened with the Conservative Party activists during the European elections.
Oh, is that the whole milkshaking situation?
Oh no, it's not. Oh, that's something different. No, it's just that during the European elections, the Conservative Party activists wouldn't go out and campaign because they didn't support having the elections in the first place.
Oh.
And one of the reasons why Theresa May has gone now is because the local associations, after the local elections where the Tories got absolutely hammered by the electorate, they were calling for a vote to remove her as leader. And so with her resignation, it was jumping before she was pushed.
Right, yeah, because I saw that, like, they wanted to have a vote of no confidence. Like, did that vote actually happen, or was it just kind of a rumor or a thing that was going to happen if she didn't resign?
Oh no, they were going to go for it. It was going to happen on, I think it was either the 3rd or the 5th of June. But the Theresa May and her colleagues inside the cabinet were thinking of doing a legal action to try and stop it. But I think they worked out that wouldn't have worked. And so that's why that was probably what influenced her as well to leave when she did.
Okay.
You know, but on the milkshaking thing, that's completely different. That's just far left activists doing what they always do.
Right. That's what it seemed like. It seemed pretty silly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, as I say, far left activists doing what they traditionally do, which is doing something silly, and then they're probably going to escalate it. Because I know when I think it was the attack on Nigel Farage, and somebody afterwards commented it should have been acid.
Wow, unreal.
Yeah, I think it might either have been Nigel Farage or Tommy Robinson, but I know a woman actually commented on that, and she actually lost her job for saying that.
Right. That's crazy. But, I mean, that seems to be the mentality of some people. It's just so much hatred out there. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I don't want to cut you off right here, but I got a lot of calls on the line, so I thank you for that.
I understand. That's right. Have a good evening.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller from UK. I most certainly appreciate you. And shout out to everybody that has called in so far. I really, really appreciate you guys. All righty, let me get to my next call here. All righty, Nippin, what's going on?
Quite a lot, actually. Quite a lot.
And before we start, nice hat, like the hat.
Yep. Yep. And now I'm officially on board the Trump train.
I see.
Never 3 years ago, if you'd told me that I would be wearing a MAGA hat, I would have probably shot you in the head.
Wow.
If you told me that 3 years ago, I'd have probably shot you. I mean, literally.
Right.
I was an SJW that long ago.
Well, I'm glad you've come back around to the right place.
Yeah, good pun. So yeah, Islam, pretty much. Now, a soccer player has been banned from playing in the finals of a European competition.
Okay, so what did they do now?
He didn't do anything. He's Armenian. And the finals of said European competition take place in Azerbaijan.
Oh. So
Armenians are banned from entering Azerbaijan.
Yeah, okay, I see. You got some regional conflicts going on right there.
Yep.
And isn't that weird because those are neighboring countries, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Wow, that's crazy.
This is a sign of white supremacy.
Wait, the hat? That's hilarious.
Yeah. So, Theresa May, gone.
Yeah, that was pretty big news. So, I mean, what's the reaction like over there in UK? Like, how are people feeling? Like, what do you think about that?
Well, obviously, the people on the far left are having a party.
Right. All the pubs are filled up.
No, but I saw a lot of statuses on my Facebook saying "Ding dong, the witch is dead." Hashtag May out.
Okay.
Even I was on one of. To be fair, I was one of those people. I didn't write it there, but I would have wrote it for different purposes.
Right. Now, why does the far left or leftists in general, why do they not like Theresa May?
I have no idea. Maybe just because she's part of the so-called Conservative Party.
Okay. And the Conservative Party, from what I've been able to tell, isn't necessarily that conservative because wasn't David Cameron pushing for gay marriage?
Yep. And he got his way.
Right.
So, yeah, there was even one person on my friends list who wrote, whoever votes for UKIP or the Brexit Party, remind me to poison your drinks.
Wow.
When you come to my nightclub.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, she was going clubbing because of the May out party. And she said to anyone who voted for the Brexit Party or UKIP, remind me to poison your drinks.
Wow.
Yeah, another person on the far left.
Right.
Throwing actual death threats just because they don't have the same opinion as her.
Right.
So, yeah. I hear you're a huge sports fan.
Oh, yeah, basketball. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Soccer for me, well, we call it football.
Right.
The proper way of saying it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I just grew up playing basketball, watching basketball, football too, but really basketball. That's my thing.
So, yeah. Now, because of the conflict, have you heard of a football club called Arsenal FC?
Yes,
they
I have.
wear red.
Yeah, I've seen their jerseys. Do you call it jerseys? Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, we call them jerseys too. Yeah. Now, one of their main players has been banned from the finals because it takes place in Azerbaijan.
You were saying that earlier because he's Armenian and can't go into Azerbaijan. Yeah. Yeah,
and Azerbaijan is a Muslim country, and Armenians are banned from it because of their Christian majority.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
You should search it up. Henrik Mkhitaryan ban.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you have some regional religious differences that have been going on for a long time, creeping their way into sports.
UEFA and actually the ambassador, the Azerbaijani ambassador, were actually trying to fight the government to let him in.
Wow.
The Azerbaijani ambassador, by the way, not the Armenian ambassador.
That sounds.
Arsenal Football Club, UEFA, the governing body of the European football, and the Azerbaijani ambassador to Armenia were all campaigning, and they lost. Even though one of the most powerful Azerbaijanis were campaigning for his permission.
Wow. So it's really serious because even one of the most powerful Azerbaijanis couldn't get that done.
Nope.
Wow. It's pretty serious.
And yeah, what is all this Ben Carson?
Oh, you must not have seen it. It's kind of a long story.
Yeah, apparently getting called an Oreo.
No, that's not what happened. You gotta move past that one because it's kind of hard to explain. Okay.
Yeah, I'll watch the video and then we'll talk about it in the. So apparently, or should I just say, a prostitute got stolen 300 grand from Michael Avenatti.
Yeah, Avenatti stole $300,000 from her. Did some signature forgery, all kind of stuff. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, so why didn't she sue him?
Well, I'm not sure if she's not sued him. I don't know what's going on with that. I know that there's a criminal case out there against him, but I'm not really sure about the criminal. I mean, the civil part.
Yeah, so I actually have no idea whether I should take this hat on my holiday or not.
Well, where are you going on your holiday?
Well, Italy, Croatia, and I believe, yes, Montenegro. I might be safe there, actually.
Yeah, because you'd be in Eastern Europe, except for Italy. But Italy should be fine, too, in my opinion.
Italy should be fine as well, because of their right-wing prime minister.
Right.
Italy's funny, actually, because they have both the left-wing and the right-wing as a coalition. And they're Eurosceptic and Trump at the same time.
Right. That's a whole lot going on right there.
But apparently it's working. They're getting a lot done, the left and the right together. It's bipartisanship in Italy. They're all together there.
That's right.
So yeah, if only that was possible in the States, in which Democrats and Republicans could work together, like the different parties did in Italy.
Right.
So yeah, I just think it would. I think I'll survive with this on the cruise ship.
I think you'd be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I'll be all over the place on the cruise ship because it's so big. I could be sitting in a cafe one night. I could be sitting in the library the next.
That's right. Yeah.
Or in my own room.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, Theresa May will officially no longer be the Prime Minister within a few months.
So who's going to be the next person to come in there to be the Prime Minister?
I literally have no idea. I actually wanted to be Boris Johnson.
Yeah, I've been hearing his name a lot.
None of my family want Boris Johnson. In fact, my mum votes for the other party, the Labour Party.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm probably the most conservative person in my whole family.
Now, Labour, is that Corbyn?
Yeah, Corbyn.
Okay.
But there's not going to be a Labour Prime Minister. I'm sorry. Even though we are more to the left than the Americans, we are not communists.
Right. Even
people in his own party disagree with him. In fact, one of my friends used to be registered with the Labour Party, and he got kicked out because his views didn't align with what's his name, Corbyn's.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was called an extremist despite not actually supporting any conservative policies.
Right.
Yeah, for criticizing Corbyn, he got kicked out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we live in a crazy world.
Absolutely, man. But hey, Nippin, I don't mean to cut you off, but I got a lot of calls on the line, so I got to go ahead and get to a few more, man. So I appreciate the call as always.
I shall see you on Thursday.
Oh, definitely.
And I'm also about to order a new one, a red one, so I can keep changing it day in, day out.
There you go. That's how you do it.
I shall see you on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday my time, Wednesday yours.
That's right.
So, yeah, that's all I have to say for now.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Peace.
Peace. All righty. Thank you for the call from Nippin. Most certainly appreciate him. All righty, Shreebs, you on the line. What's going on?
ABL, what's going on, brother? What's happening?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Listen, Nippin. I call it Nippin. That's my middle name. Nippin is crazy with that hat because out there you will get shanked for wearing that. I just came from there. I had a great vacation, by the way. I will say that UK, where I was, is beautiful. Like the countryside is beautiful. You know, I had a nice vacation with my girl. It was nice, but the SJWs are 1,000 times worse out there, bro. Like 1,000 times worse.
Oh, really?
Oh my God. And the thing is, like, when I was out there, because my girl, she was like a socialist leftist at first, like when she came into the ABL Discord. By the way, shout out to ABL Discord, everybody in there, because it's kind of like here you can have open discussion. But yeah, everybody comes in, and she came in to debate us, and that's how I met her initially.
Oh wow, okay, cool.
Yep. So, and I flipped her because she understood, like, because she's, like I said, she was socialist leftist kind of. And when I showed her, stuff about the abortions and what they're doing in the communities. I showed her some stuff with like Malcolm X and all this other stuff. And she kind of like, it started to click with her. So she kind of brought it up with one of her friends who was, and I don't want to expose people because I don't want to get her in trouble. Right. But she kind of brought it up with one of her feminist friends. And immediately, as soon as she said, I think that a child should have a right to live, they burned her for anything, And I told her, I was like, look, you see how they act. Like, it doesn't matter. As long as you are going against them, you're just an enemy. They don't even know what they believe in. They don't even know what they're fighting for, If it's against them, that's it, But
right.
It was bad out there, man. But the country is beautiful. UK is beautiful. And I was just letting people have it. Like, because you know me, I have no filter. I got no filter. And we were on public transport, even out in like the streets when we were just doing the tourism thing, for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I was just seeing all these people straight up like the worst, man, like 1,000 times worse. And I was letting them have it too. I was like, wow. I was like, look at all these people like hurt over spilt milk and feelings. There's real problems going on. I was like highlighting like, all the real stuff like the child trafficking at the border, the rights to live and, how like it's less than 0.1% for rape abortions and stuff like that. And actually it's like 96 or 98% is for socioeconomic or just to get rid of it. All right, that's the main part right there, so there's a lot of that going on, but you should have seen it. So I was out there, right? They had these voter elections, and one of the voters was this chick, typical feminist. I'm not getting down on anybody's shape or size or none of that, but typical feminist.
Yeah,
right?
The type looking like kind of walrus status.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly, yo. This chick had like it's exactly what you imagine, right? Red hair, and her image was a bullhorn, right? She's had on a bullhorn. This is a real ad on a bullhorn, and it says, "Socialist feminist, I will fight for you in women's rights." Like, what? What's going on in Venezuela right now, girl? Like, like AOC is ruining herself right now, which is just crazy. So, but yeah, no, UK, it was crazy. There's just the thing is like what Nippon was saying. Really, there's no real conservative party like you guys were just talking about. Most of it is just really soft conservatism, and I'm an independent centrist. Okay, I always I always say that, but really like the most sense comes from a more conservative outlook, in my opinion. There's more to work with. In other words, the leftists, and Democrats and socialists, they really don't give you any space whatsoever. It's their way or nothing, you know. So there's no leeway. And most of the people out there, they're just leftists in the form of quote unquote conservative party. So Theresa May, I mean, I asked somebody out there, I was like, what? Because you posted that video up, so, and I got that over when I was in the UK, and I asked them, I said, what do you think about Theresa May? And somebody was like, she's still alive? Like, so I mean, that's how much they care about, you know, some of the politics. And I was like, man, that's sad, because like to me, what that already says is that your government already means nothing to you. You're already under control. Like it's already over as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. And that's real sad because, and again, I don't want to out her because, you know, I fear for my girl, what she might go through, because really out there you can get in trouble for wrong thought. Okay. Like if you post something online that's quote unquote hate speech, the police will come to your door, dogs and everything, crazy, arrest you, right? And then say, we have to correct your thoughts. Your thoughts, ABL.
That's wild. It's like, come on, I can't even think what I want to think. Good grief.
Yeah, it's that bad out there. And I was just letting them have it. I was like, yo, I'm like, look at me, like, cause I have my afro right now. I grew an afro out for my girl, cause she's like, oh, grow the afro. So I grew the afro out, and you know, I was just letting them have it because it was. I hate to say it like this way, but you know the type, you know the liberal type, and it's not. They don't look like me. Okay, they don't look like her because she's African. They don't look like her. You know, we were just blazing truths to them, you know, because she's very much with me on this. So everywhere we went, we were just blasting them, like trying to speak the truth. And I think we got through to some of them, like a good amount of them, because they were kind of seeing the ridiculousness of it. And then to hear it from like an American, because I'm kind of like, look at all these. I was telling her, I was like, look at all these SJWs. These people are all reacting because of the fake news propaganda that they're hearing from our side, which isn't actually happening in our country, you know? So they're reacting to things that are actually not happening in our country. You know, it's not real. And I think I kind of got through to some of them, but it was wild out there. I really felt out of place because I was like in the belly of the beast, you know, either way. The other caller that called in about the milkshake thing, that was Tommy Robinson. So like he had some dude, you know, he was out campaigning, and some dude, they're all getting violent with him regardless, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This dude ran up on him and he finally threw a milkshake on him, right? So Tommy was like, hey, you know, he went to the cops, even the police that were there, and he was like, this guy assaulted me. The cops literally turned, got in their car, and drove off.
Wow.
They drove off.
I don't even really care. It's just like, whatever. So what?
Yeah, and he's running for politics. It's like, yo, you can't even protect the politicians that are running? That's how bad it is out there. And it's straight groupthink. It's worse than that. It's straight up mind. They're already done, in my opinion. I told my girl, I was like, you better get out of here because this place is already done. You know, it's a beautiful country, but this place is done. Yeah. You know, if they can change it, God bless them, because like she knows the struggle. You know, like, and you know me, like I've been in some bad spots myself. So like there's real problems out there, and none of it has to do with feelings. You know. I was out there. I was like, racism. I was like, what racism? I was like, you see any KKK around it? You think KKK are running around my neighborhood? I was just letting them burn, you know. And they were just like, oh my God, like who is this dude? I'm like, my girl was like, stop it, because I was like, yo, I'm an American. I'm telling you straight up, like, you know, like what's going on? And she was just getting embarrassed, but I wasn't gonna have it. No filter for me. And actually, Leatherneck and a couple other people on Discord were like, careful, because they really, you don't have your First Amendment there.
Yeah, the laws over there are just not, they ain't the same over here. We take some of these laws and these freedoms for granted. Over there, they don't have it the way we do.
Exactly, and I explained that to her too. I was like, and I also explained, because she's like, oh, you know, she's kind of against guns, and I was explaining to her, I was like, you know, for us, you know, we're a constitutional republic. You know, we're not a democracy. We're not a socialist or a communist government. You know, we're capitalists and we're a constitutional republic. We have an inalienable right to protect ourselves, and it's just how we grew up. So we grew up literally living by the gun, in my opinion. Yeah. And that's important. And she kind of gets it, but she doesn't, you know. And I'm like, in your country, it's just like you've been under control from the beginning, so you couldn't do nothing anyways, you know. So you'll never understand why we cherish our freedoms so much. And people say, well, you know, you're crazy to think that if you take those things away, you're going to have some sort of dystopian 1984 style, you know, controlled government. But the reality is, look no further than across the pond, dude. Like, you know, Look what you guys got. You're trying to tell me I live in a police state? You can't even think differently, or you get put in jail. So I don't want to say nothing else about that because I love my girl, and actually I did like the country. It was fun, you know. What else are the topics? Oh, Nadler having that little heart palpitations there. Yeah, mess around and have a seizure or something, you know, like. And I honestly, shout out to Jimmy J, Uber guy, if he's watching.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tony X, you know, Montaga on IG. But because Tony's actually running to push AOC out in New York right now. You know that, right?
Yeah.
And that's real because AOC, man, she's ruined so much. The whole thing about about what was it, the end of the 2012 end of, you know, world ending or whatever, and then she backtracked and said you got to have like the intelligence, their IQ of a sea sponge, right? But 67% of her followers believe her when she said that. So she just called all her followers dumb as hell. And pardon me, they just called all her followers dumb, and they admitted it. So I mean, honestly, but look at, and I know, you know, she's saying socialism and it's not like Venezuela, but reality is that that's what it's gonna get to, you know, because that's what you're pushing for, and you don't even know how to pay your own rent, lady. So I don't want to hear from you. You know, that's a. What else was that? Oh yeah, so that whole thing, you know, one of the things somebody else brought up, like the exposing, the declassification, the stuff that's going on. I even heard Seth Rich in there, and I know everybody's like, oh, that's crazy, but the reality is that there is a lot of shady stuff that goes on, and like, you know me, like I like to dig deeper, and it's not that I believe everything, but I'm the type of person where I'd rather hear a crazy person out, because you never know when you might be thanking that crazy person 10 years down the line. Because honestly, 2 decades ago, I read that book, Behold the Pale Horse, which I think everybody should read, because it's William Cooper. He talks about globalism, talks about all the stuff that's going on, the banksters, which is the financial arm of these people who are in control, and he talks about this stuff. And this was written in like the 80s. Okay, it was published in 91, and I read it about like 95, 96.
Yeah.
So, but imagine me, like back then, I was blown away. I got like, I guess red pilled, black pilled, whatever you want to call it, like right away, right there. I was all alone like over 2 decades ago, and now when I drop a name, like a bankster's name, or I talk about the crimes that Hillary and the Bushes committed, or all these people that are involved in it, everybody knows what I'm talking about now. So it has come a long way. But 2 decades ago, I was alone, man. Like I was alone. So I'm glad to see people are kind of talking about it. And Seth Rich, supposedly, he was the one that gave WikiLeaks the information they needed on Hillary. And you got to remember, people say WikiLeaks, oh, it's owned by Russia. No. Julian Assange is still an enemy of the state. All right. He's still. He even asked he put out 20 grand to get information on Trump, and nobody could bring it because Trump is clean. All right. His name didn't appear 50 times on that pedophile island boarding pass like the Clintons did.
That's right. What's that?
Right.
Jeffrey Epstein, right?
Yep, Jeffrey Epstein, pedophile island. So his name didn't appear on that. It was like for a Canada trip, but it wasn't to the actual island, and that was once. And the Clintons were on that 50 times, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's way more than them. It's celebrities. It's everybody on that itinerary. So people need to read up on that and just kind of keep their minds open to it. But it's the same thing, you know. It's basically they're blaming other people for the things that they've done, you know. And this whole declassification thing, I think now he's having those heart palpitations because he knows what's coming. All right, Obama and all these other people, it's even beyond Obama. All right, in my opinion. But you had the corrupt DOJ, FBI, CIA, you know, Fusion GPS, the fake dossier. You had international crimes, in my opinion, because it was done by an MI6 agent or an ex-MI6 agent. And, you know, it's much bigger. I hope they get to the bottom of it. I hope Barr really gets to the bottom of it and all this stuff gets exposed. Now, the other thing is that people always say, oh, you know, Trump, he's a sellout, all this stuff. He might be, but guess what? Whether indirectly or directly, he's exposing a lot of stuff that I've been saying for the past 20 years. So to me, he's speaking a lot of truth, and whether he's doing it indirectly or directly, you know, on purpose or not. And
he's still doing it either way.
Yeah, and he's doing it either way. And look, we're talking about it, right? So it's got to be working. It's working, right? So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I think that people, you know, once this declassifying comes out and things kind of get put into the light. And hey, if everybody on the left doesn't want to believe me, listen to your own ex-party members down in Brazil, like they were saying.
That's
She
right.
admitted there was wrongdoing. She
did.
admitted, right?
Yep.
Those are her emails, right, ABL, right?
That's right.
There was her emails straight up. She was the one who gave the questions. She cheated, and she knew they cheated Bernie Sanders. And to flip on that, for all the Bernie bros out there, if you think you're getting away from this conversation, brother, come back here. Because guess what? Sean Lucas, he served, the DNC lawsuit to Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Sean Lucas is dead now, all right? And that lawsuit went nowhere. The DNC, not even Bernie Sanders, he didn't even stand up for his supporters to get that money back. He just said, no, I got cheated. Now all your money is going to Clintons. He didn't even stand up for you. So that's the person you want to support? That's your socialist god? Get out of here.
Exactly, man. Well, I thank you for the call. I really appreciate you. It's always been a good call. But, the phone lines are blowing up right now, so I got to get to a few more.
Get to it, man. Peace and love to everybody. I miss y'all.
All right. Thank you for the call, man. As always, definitely appreciate you.
Be safe.
All right.
Talk to you.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
All right. Thank you to Shreebs. Great call, as always. And shout out to his girl over there. Hey, if you're watching, I'm glad you were able to find us. And we got a few calls on the line. Let me try to get to some here. Okay. 240, you're on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hey, it's JB. What's up, brother?
Everything is good, man. What's going on?
Nothing much. I just want to say call up to everybody. And did you hear what Nancy Pelosi? She said 3, held up 2 fingers.
You know what? She said 3. Look, she said 3. She put up 1 finger at first and changed it quickly to 2 fingers. So she didn't know what she was doing. She was like, "Okay, I'm saying 3, but am I going to put up 1, 2?" It was crazy. And then they're talking about, Trump was retweeting fake videos. That video that he retweeted was not fake. That was her.
That was a recent video. What are they talking about?
Right.
Yeah, ABL, they getting crazy, man. They started a trip, ABL. Like everybody said they're going to impeach Trump. I said they're not going to do nothing to the man. Why does everybody keep believing in stupidity? Nothing's going to happen to it. Nothing's going to happen to him. And it's like, and I got an argument earlier there with my, if you impeach, no, he's not. Nothing's going to happen to him. They got nothing. But it's it's getting crazy out there because I heard they're trying, but the last call was right. They are trying to vote out OKC. They're trying to get rid of her ASAP. So now she's trying to roll back everything she ever said. You know that, right? Have you noticed that?
You mean AOC?
AOC, whatever her name is. The nutbag, the kook. You got your. Speaker of the House is a paraplegic. She can't talk, can't count, can't do nothing.
Yeah, see, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like they're gonna try to vote her out, but that's gonna cause their party to be fractured.
Again. Damn. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? All right, I think JB lost a connection. Shout out to my man JB, but I got super chats to read, so let me just go ahead and read the super chat. Shout out to all you guys out there supporting, and definitely appreciate you. If you have not liked the video yet, please give me a thumbs up. That'll just do wonders for me. The likes are free. Let me see. Let me just refresh myself right quick. Shout out to let me start from here. Shout out to Vin, who says Black Lives Matter. Oh yeah, I already read that one. He said Black Lives Matter. Best ABL saying. Thumbs up, UK fan. Thank you for that. Kevin Duggan says Robert Mercer, big neocon plus UKIP boilerplates. Thank you for that. Thank you to James Miller for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to His Gaze, who says, I'm surprised you're not broadcasting the rerun. LOL, it's Memorial Day weekend. You still working. Walrus status, priceless. Yeah, that was, I was just freestyling with that one. Yeah, I'll be off tomorrow, but today, yeah, I can't miss the show. So thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Spaz5, who says, love the channel. I appreciate your donation and your support. Thank you to Corey Roberts, who says, your Seven Cities brother checking you out, in the background, living in central Indiana. Europe has been conquered. happened a while ago. Prediction: we will have to save Europe again from themselves, along with Russia, like World War II. Book it. That's a great prediction right there, and it may come true. Thank you for your donation and your support. And shout out to Kevin Duncan, who says free speech laws in Florida are broken. I don't know what that's about, but thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. And shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys on the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. I appreciate that, King Zing, 100%. All righty. Now, what else we got here? I'm reading some of the chat. And the calls fell off. Also, if you want to get into the show, you can do so through Skype. There's an email for that in the description box below. Just add me on there. You can contact me that way. Thank you to Elijah Jean Williams, who says, ABL, your platform is a gift to all of us. Hey, that means a lot to me. Thank you for your donation and your support, as always. Most certainly appreciate you. Let me get to my next call. 510, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, ABL? This is Brother Throat Puncher. How's it going?
Everything is good. What's going on?
Oh, man. Bro, I am just happy to be a red-blooded American and happy to see the NPCs going nuts, losing their minds as if they had any to begin with.
That's right.
There's a reason why we call them NPCs, because they can't think for themselves. The moment you challenge them with any view that's contrary to the narrative, they go with the insults, or in this case now, throwing milkshakes. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to post it up on Facebook or whatever, Instagram, or better yet, I'll go to Minds and say, I'm going to go to get a milkshake, and I'm going to eat at Chick-fil-A, put it up on blast, just to tick off the libtards in my area. But anyway, yeah, just the whole Brexit thing is going great. I'm just glad that Theresa May is getting out of there. I've been following Sargon, and he's just silently laughing at all of this. It is just like, wow.
Yeah,
and I find it funny.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, and I just find it funny that all these people are like saying, "Oh, socialism works, socialism works." I'm like, okay, pimpin', why don't you go to China? I remember it was 2 weeks ago, I think. But one of your callers was on China's male genitalia. This is a family show. I'm not going to say anything outside of that. But he was like saying how great it was in China. I'm like, why don't you just go to China? I don't think they're going to treat you right in China.
Right, exactly.
If you think it's so.
That's a very good point.
It's like he was trying to debate you on that. I remember him like, why don't you go to China then, pimpin'? You're trying to make America into China. Why don't you go there and see how great it is? I know a lot of people are trying to get out. In fact, let's look at Taiwan. They're like, okay, they're actually China done right because they're more to Western values. But that's another story to begin with. But man, so we got the NPCs throwing milkshakes at people. Also, I followed another conservative channel called Sinatra Says. Are you familiar with him?
You said who now?
Sinatra Says.
I've heard the name before, but I've not seen the content.
Okay. So this is how you know how bad the left really is right now. So I don't know if it was the Huffington Post or BuzzFeed, or I know it was a leftist publication, but a dude wrote something that 7 skills which men should forget now and replace it with other things. And I'm like, okay, I got to hear this. So number 1 was fighting, hunting, fixing a car, and then there were a few other things. I'm like, wait,
hold on. So these were skills that men have currently that we should forget?
Yes.
Okay, I don't get it.
It's like, instead of fighting, you should learn to talk about it. And I'm like, I don't know if this guy's been from the hood or whatever, because I've lived in the hood, you got to know how to take care of yourself. You got to know how to be able to defend yourself.
Because
also not knowing
some guys don't want to talk. Some guys just want to swing off on you instantly and no talking involved. They're just going to punch you right in the face, and then it's like, what you going to do? Just let's talk about this. Let's not resort to violence. No, you're going to have to defend yourself.
Exactly. I mean, it's like you're going to say get rid of that skill. Like, yeah, no, that's not going to work. After hearing that, I'm like, wow. If it wasn't for the fact that I had a code of honor, I actually wanted to give that writer, and it was a dude, by the way, who wrote this. Clearly. A leftist dude. I wanted to give this guy a wedgie, and I know he wasn't going to do anything.
Now, where was that again? Like, what publication was this?
I forget if it was either the Huffington Post or whatever. I have to find the video.
Of those? Okay, yeah. I'm going to try to find that, yeah.
Yeah, look up Sinatra Says, and it's just... wow, like not knowing how to fight, don't fix your car, pay someone else to do. I'm like, the only reason why I pay people to fix my car is because I don't have the tools or the space right now because I live in an area where, it's an apartment. It's basically a big city. But if I had that tools, like I can at least change a battery, change some tires, change some fluids, all that. I know how to do that. I know dudes in my area who can't even change a tire.
That's crazy. It's crazy. And then the thing about it is like how hard is that? It's like if you can't change the tire, did you ever have Legos as a child? I mean, some basic stuff because we ain't talking about rocket science. You're talking about just screwing off the lugs and screwing them back on. That's it.
Exactly. But they don't even know how to do that.
Right.
I'm not kidding you, man. And then I think one was outside of fixing your car. I think I gotta look at the video again. I just couldn't help but shake my head. I'm like, this is what the left is trying to teach men to do. Wow. No wonder why leftist women aren't really happy.
Right. How can they be happy with if they're looking for men, they're getting women instead. So how can they be happy?
Exactly. And I definitely know it's another skill outside of, they're saying don't hunt. And I'm like, okay, not everybody can hunt, but it's still a good skill to have. At least know something or fish, something. It's like instead, you should learn how to cook yourself. I'm like, okay, that's a basic skill everyone has, but they're not even just saying cook for yourself, but get one of those meal kit cooks, like, Blue Apron and stuff. I'm like, technically you're not really cooking. You're just following directions.
Right.
But yeah. Anyway, thanks for taking my call, ABL. I know it was a bunch of rants, but yeah.
Oh, it's all good, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
No problem. Take it easy.
All right, peace.
All right, peace. Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. And I found that article. This is on Ask Men. And I don't understand why this person wrote this on Ask Men. But let me just go through them right quick before we get to my next call. Okay. Hunting, fighting, repairing your car, fixing things at home. Okay, it says power tools are such a de facto man thing that you'd be hard pressed to find examples of women using them in most movies or TV shows. Men are just the mechanics of the world, right? As with car maintenance, however, the idea that a man owns his house and should therefore know how to take care of it is increasingly an outdated concept. What? So if a light bulb goes, I'm just gonna be like, oh, let me just call somebody to replace the light bulb. What? With most millennials having no real shot at home ownership, there's a good chance your landlord will be the one in charge of fixing anything that goes wrong in your place, or more likely paying someone else to. Instead, learn how to decorate. I mean, if you're going to decorate your house that you don't own, why not be able to fix certain little things in your house? I mean, that's crazy. Being a leader, don't be a leader, fellas. Being a disciplinarian. So if you got kids, just let them do whatever they want to do. Just run around the house, create murals of crayon on the bathroom wall, spill eggs all over the place, whatever they want to do. Holding your emotions in. So basically, don't be a male anymore. Don't be a male anymore and become like a woman. And then you're going to have two women in the house looking confused. Nobody's able to fulfill their natural role. And now that's when you have this whole thing about men having babies. How about this? How about we all get womb transplants and figure out a way to shift our twig and berries around so we can have babies too and breastfeed and all that good stuff. But I'm gonna go ahead and digress. Okay. All right, caller, you know, line 737.
All right. The YouTube video. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. Who am I speaking to?
It's the dude that you were talking to, toxic masculinity, this and that. Can I go on a maybe a 12 minute rant so, okay, let me ask you this. Were you in Ocean's live stream about black conservatives?
Okay, was I in the, it's a lot of streams about that. Is it one that was recent?
Yeah, it was like last week.
Was I in it? Like, was I participating in it?
Yeah.
I was in the chat, but I was not on the actual. I was not on the screen.
Okay, I think because I saw the first 13 minutes and I tried to get to the 40-minute mark, like try to skip to it. Yeah, because I got the impression you weren't in there. I saw you in the chat though. By the way, I'm gonna give you props here for being a very ballsy to say the Negro is offended by everything. I wanted to lol so hard there. I mean, now I want to go on a little tangent off here. Let me tell you something. As someone who's trying to, observe black conservative spaces and this and that and pro-black spaces, the two worlds aren't too much a part of a difference. Let me tell you that. Someone trying to show their interest in, black empowerment issues and whatnot, because, I'm not even American. And, it's funny how they view me as an invader, because the funny thing is, as a non-American, I don't have a racial label actually that can fit me in terms of American standards. Therefore, I can just jump right in with any racial group I feel like fitting in with. And guess what? The Hispanics never upset me due to my lighter shade, just to let you know. But at the same time, I don't even interact with white people. So, when it comes to the racial hierarchy, I'm an outsider. But back to the topic, I wanted to say a couple of things. First off, I'm tired of pro-blacks calling black conservatives sellouts, Uncle Toms, this and that. Come on now. I thought black conservatives were all up for self-preservation, aren't they?
Yes, 100%. I mean, I've even quoted some people. I have their book from Nation of Islam. I got their book, Message to the Black Man. I did a video about the Message to the Black Man. I've talked about certain things that, I have a lot of the solutions to a lot of the things that the pro-blacks want to do. But see, they've been so brainwashed from the time they were children, they can't even see a conservative person as being on the same level as them. They think automatically when you're conservative, you're just a bad person. They don't take time to get to know you or get to even hear what you got to say. They just think conservative bad. And that's just, they have a bias against you.
Right. And also they kind of like, oh, we want to start our own black independent party. First off, you have to understand, blacks are still a very numerical minority in the United States. To start a black independent party in the United States would take a lot of effort and political power. Am I correct? Correct, right?
No, you're right. And the thing about it is it'd be pointless to do it because the reality is we live in the two-party system. Some may say that's not a good thing, but I mean, you go overseas where you got 3, 4, 5 parties that all can get votes. It becomes very difficult to get anything done. And at the end of the day, when you're talking about specific issues, it's either yay or nay. So, I mean, we live in a two-party system, so having a black party would be pointless. I mean, the most you're going to be able to do maybe is get some things done locally, and you won't really be able to break out of that. You couldn't even do local elections nationally as far as being a state senator that would go to D.C., or a House rep. You couldn't even do that because once you go to D.C., you have to vote along party lines. For the most part, you're seeing votes that are happening right now in D.C. where all the Democrats vote one way. The independents, it's like they're not even there. You either on the left or the right. If you're going to be in the state only, maybe you could do a little something. But even there, you got politics that happen within the state. You can't just have a black party independent of dealing with other people that are in politics as well. So the whole concept is stupid to me.
Exactly. I agree. What was I going to say? Yeah, exactly. Not only that, they forget that there are not many black elites to begin with. And also, the hypocrisy is still very real. Like, they will pretend to say, oh, the Democrats are just as racist and, uncaring of black people and other minorities, just as Republicans. But at the same time, they'll still be, and please forgive my language, but they will still be butt-kissing the Democrats. Trust me. They want to say, oh, but at least the Democrats know how to pander to blacks. They admittedly say that. Like, then why are you all falling for the trick that the Democrats want you to fall for? And second of all, at least the Republicans outright do denounce and call out the racism in their party. You never see a Democrat admit that their party has a bunch of, uncalled racism. Just 2 days ago, did you hear about Bernie Sanders? Now, I wasn't offended personally by that. In fact, I don't think many black people were. But the irony and the hypocrisy is so strong. If Bernie Sanders were to change any time now to a Republican, and let's say he would have taken that photo. You saw the photo of him holding fried chicken while hugging another black dude?
I saw that, yes.
I thought it was hilarious, but at the same time, it kind of pissed me off because, I mean, it just shows the hypocrisy is still so strong in this one. I mean, if it was Trump doing it, people would be like, see, guys, this is who you want. See, you black conservatives, this is who you're supporting. This dude hates you. Well, like, and also, I was in Magnificent. You know Magnificent? Black conservative YouTuber?
Yeah, I've met him.
I was in his live stream about that 2 days ago, and he pointed out that Obama once actually did a salute to Robert Byrd, a KKK member. So, and I kind of actually vaguely remember about that, but I went to go see the footage again just to make sure I wasn't being misinformed. And yep, Obama literally saluted and approved a KKK member. Like, doesn't that scare you? A literal KKK member was being approved by Obama. What does that tell you?
I mean, it tells me that they're hypocritical because they talk about David Duke all day. David Duke is a nobody. David Duke was in the state government in Louisiana, not even the national, for like 3 years in the late 80s. And he's not been in government ever since. But people look at David Duke as somehow the face of the Republican Party. It doesn't make any sense. And really, when you talk to David Duke, when you hear him, he has more moderate, if not left-leaning views on a lot of different things. So to even label him as a conservative is improper. And beyond that, Robert Byrd was in the United States government for 50 years. He was a high-ranking person. He could have become president if anything happened to the president. Like, he was like fourth in line to become president. He was a high-ranking person. Hillary Clinton's mentor. She loved him. Same thing with Barack Obama. But they don't talk about that at all. It's like you bring it up, they go back to the old talking point about, oh, both sides are racist. That right there is a cop-out. They'll say that because they don't want to admit that people that they vote for at 90% are a problem, and the other side could be something that would help. They don't want to just embrace trying to vote conservative because it goes back to the brainwashing. The whole life they've been told that the right are racist, they hate you, they hate black people, they want to use you, and they can't get out of that mind state.
Exactly. Now they will go to play this semantics game and saying, but what do you think a lot of white people are conservative in the name of? They want to conserve the racial hierarchy. First off, let me tell you something. A lot of whites do not care about preserving a white dominant hierarchy in America at all. I can tell you they don't want a racial hierarchy. With America becoming a more and more globalized nation by the time, why would it be? Then why would they care about preserving their race? What I'm thinking now, most American conservatives want is just patriotism as a nation, correct? We don't want a monoracial nation. We want a monocultural nation, correct?
Yeah, it's about culture for everyone. And then the thing about the race preserving, how does it make any sense when the conservatives are the party that are anti-abortion? Okay, and if you wanted to really preserve your race, you would be pro-abortion because more people that are not white are being killed off than whites through abortion. And so just like Alabama, you had the guy, Charlamagne the guy, talking about, oh, it's about white self-preservation. How does that make any sense when 65% of the abortions in Alabama are performed on non-whites? It doesn't make any sense.
Correct. And they will go say, oh, but what if the child's born on poverty? Like we said, first off, get off of welfare, because that's the number one cause of child poverty. Second, what about the illegals coming in and taking, the houses in the neighborhoods and, abusing the child support system away? That doesn't matter, right? So they just tap out of that conversation and just go back to, the child poverty talk card. No. See. And also, another thing, can I just say one more thing? I'll probably end it up.
All right.
And another thing, like I said, they only care, the public, once again, only care if the racism is coming more from a Republican, a Klans member, someone in power, this, yada, yada, yada. Like, if you're going to call out racism, you got to call it out from all sides of the spectrum. You being selective about it makes me not want to take racism seriously. I'm all for combating racism, because I will admit a lot of racists are just very miseducated people. I think we can agree on that, correct? They're very miseducated.
Yeah.
I want to start taking it more seriously when you actually get less selective about it. Like, and also, don't dramatize racism. Like, it seems a lot of pro-blacks and leftists want to do whatever they can to keep racism alive, because they know that racism is like the foundation. Well, it's not the foundation, but racism is like the gasoline of, of a lot of Democratic, pro-black, and SJW parties, because that's like the gasoline. If all racism was to be gone overnight, then what are they going to trivialize the racial aspects out of? Correct?
Right. Exactly.
And they'll dramatize racism, and even then, it's not that, like, come on, people. It's 2019, not the earliest 20th century. And if clients, like, let's say a little white supremacist was about to go on you, if you're being physically threatened, newsflash, you can do all kinds of things to keep yourself safe. Practice martial arts, carry a pocket knife. You can even call the police. The police are not racist. And also, do these pro-blacks know most of the police brutality happens in Democrat-run cities?
They don't want to talk about that. They say, oh, it's the Republicans' fault. It's like, how is it the Republicans' fault? It's totally controlled by Democrats. It's a silly thing to even say, but they'll try to say it. At a certain point, some people are going to look at all the information, and then they're going to wake up. It's like, okay, why am I being told that it's the white conservatives' fault? Meanwhile, there's been white liberals in here for the past 50 years, and they've run the city into the ground. Maybe I should look more towards them, towards those that are in power and not doing a very good job of running the city, why my city the way it is. But I get to some more calls, man. So thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
I have to say one more thing. And yeah, I mean, to look at the prison reform, how many Democrats oppose that?
That's a very good point, man. But I appreciate the call.
Yeah, I already finished my 12 minutes. All right.
Good.
Now. Thank you.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. Okay. And thank you to everybody that has called in. You guys have been great. And you saw that stat right there, right? I'm putting it up one time just in case you ain't see it. So Alabama abortions by race. You can see the chart. The blue area are the white abortions. The red is mostly black, 60%, and the other 5 is other. So it is what it is. But let me get to my next call. All right, caller, on the line, 317.
317, Anthony Brian Logan. This is Corey Robertson, Central Indiana.
All right, man. What's going on?
Not a whole lot, man. I wanted to clarify something that I said in the super chat I sent to you.
Yes.
When I was talking about Europe.
Yeah.
And hope you're doing real well down there in Tennessee. But anyway, outside of that, what I meant by that comment was I'm not talking about Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe has no problems. Yeah. In regard to invasion or, cultural or Muslim invasion. If you look at Hungary, you look at Poland. Poland, for instance, they've had no terrorist attacks. They've had no kind of incidents of that type of situation. They've had that within their history, and they've learned their lesson. So you look at Eastern Europe, which, borders, Russia, and then you look at Central and Western and parts of Northern Europe, and they've completely acquiesced.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally acquiesced. I mean, do you not agree with that?
Yeah, like especially the more prosperous nations. You're talking about UK, France, Germany. they pretty much laid down.
Yeah, they pretty much lay down, and what I meant by that statement is that it really is drumming up a lot of memories of what had to happen in World War II, and what had to happen. The Allies would not have won. We would not have won World War II without Russia, and of course we would not have won unless Hitler got really arrogant and decided, hey, let's go and fight the Russian bear, which no country has ever tried to invade Russia has ever succeeded. I mean, you want to talk about a grandiose narcissist? That was probably pretty dumb. But without Russia, matter of fact, if you read a lot of historians and people that really write about the World War II, they talk about if Russia was not involved and wasn't as strong as they were, that the Allies would not have won that war. So the irony here, the big irony here, is the invasion. We all know, everybody knows. I don't care where you come from, what you look like, what your skin color is, what your nationality is. I really don't care. Everybody knows that Europe and the Middle East and Northern Africa, they've been fighting with each other between Muslims and Christians and Jews for thousands of years. Okay, and as far as I'm concerned, that part of the world is completely acquiesced. And France, for instance, is gone. Germany is gone. They have these little these countries and house them in there where you can't even enter. And you're talking millions of people. And countries like Hungary and Poland and these other countries have said no. We're not allowing those people in. So there was a gentleman in the chat room earlier that said, in 10 years, the UK will be run by Islam. I'm like, what have you been watching? I'm like, it's pretty much already that way now. And what they've done, what individuals have done on the left, and these are leftist thinking people, what they've done is they've really infected the school systems, and they've infected the kids with this SJW nonsense, and they really feel like they give them sort of a modicum of righteousness or something, and they run around talking all this smack all the time, and it's infected the U.S. too, but not to the degree of the U.K. It's amazing,
right?
It's really amazing what has happened there, and you've had a couple of really good callers tonight, several of them. A couple of them were, I think, from the UK, and another gentleman that was there visiting. And do you ever have this conversation with people you meet on the street? ABL, I'm aware of this stuff, and you're obviously aware of it, and hopefully a lot of the listeners are aware of it. But, do you think the average American is really aware of the level of devastation that Europe has gone through, and where the whole dynamic of that entire continent is, at least from Eastern Europe west, has completely changed?
They have no idea. They barely know about America, let alone Europe.
Well, that was a very nice characterization. So, I just find that really interesting. And then, just to move on from that, and my prediction, I hope it does not come true. I hope that this doesn't have to happen, but I think it's pretty obvious that it's going to have to happen, because once Hitler and his infestation took over Western Europe and was infecting Northern Europe and trying to invade Russia, it was the West, it was America that was like, okay, we're going to have to go ahead and attack, and Russia started fighting back. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But with all this Russia talk constantly all the time, all of a sudden out of nowhere 3 years ago, I really feel there's a lot of fear of that. The other thing that you guys you were discussing a little bit, I know a couple people talked about it, and was abortion, the abortion thing. Now I know was it Mississippi or was it Alabama that the assembly came together and they passed the bill to make it illegal for abortion with the death penalty? I can't remember if it was Alabama or Mississippi.
Well, I don't know about the death penalty. I haven't heard that one.
I've heard that. So, and it's I guess it's been struck down. So a federal judge came in and struck it down.
Okay, in Mississippi, there was an abortion bill that was signed into law, and it was a heartbeat bill, basically. After a fetal heartbeat is detected, you can't have any more abortion. That was struck down by a federal judge.
What I've heard is that what the state of Mississippi and some of these states are thinking is that this will begin the conversation of abortion from the federal level, because, Roe v. Wade was a federal thing. And, in abortion. So I don't know. I think it's a good way to start to at least have the conversation to where people can discuss it and to come up with something reasonable, because, obviously recently with Virginia and I think New York, they were, discussing having, abortions up until like the third trimester and all this other stuff. It's crazy.
Right. Absolutely crazy.
You can feel the big moving around in your body. The other thing you talked about was Jussie Smollett. They unsealed the case, right? They unsealed that?
They unsealed it, yes.
Now I called into your show a couple of months ago, and I think I set your room on fire because I was talking about Jussie Smollett, and then I was talking about the Virginia Beach Oceanfront, during the Greek Fest. So that, I think, is a really good thing. And, I'm just kind of curious as to where you think that might go. If a judge is unsealing it, and we have access to this as anybody in the public, right? Because now it's public information.
I'm pretty sure it will be, yes.
Yeah. So where do you think this goes? Where does it go?
Well, what happens, I think, is that you're going to see other people get implicated in the whole situation, and then it'll also prevent Jussie from being out here like, I didn't do anything, I'm innocent, this, that, and the third, because it'd be so much evidence that's out there publicly against him. So he couldn't use that excuse. Like, even now, he's still trying to use that, although a lot of people don't believe him. The hard evidence from the criminal case is not out there. So once that comes out, then it's going to be almost impossible for him to use that defense, talking about, well, I didn't do anything, I'm innocent, all this and that.
No, the last question I'll ask you, I'll let you run. Trump basically releasing, what did he do the other day? What was it? Declassified all those documents. Man, when I heard that, I was like, wow. I was like, whoa, this now we're in a real fight.
Right.
Now we're going to get into a real fight. And my prediction, I hope my prediction for Europe is wrong, okay? But my prediction that I've been making to my friends and family for a couple of years, as I said, once he gets in, it's going to take years for him to fight through the, for lack of a better term, BS that's going to be thrown his direction. When he first gets in, it's going to be constant attacks and a bunch of accusations that you have to fend off. And anybody that's been to court that's been accused of anything, anybody that's been to court that's been accused of anything, even if you're innocent, it could take years for that to go away. So I said, this is what's going to happen. They're going to accuse the crap out of him. And then once he gets closer to the second term and they get into that second season where he's trying to run for a second term, they're going to be fighting like crazy even harder to make sure he doesn't get in, because by the time he gets in, he's going to win election again. When he wins that election, and now these unsealing, all these documents are that situation, he's not going to be able to take down Hillary and all these people unless he gets reelected.
Right.
Once he gets reelected, that's when the heads are going to roll. And you're going to see something like we've never seen in this country or probably any other country ever. So, I find it pretty interesting, and I hope I'm right about the Trump thing and then Hillary and all these little, Pelosi's and all these people that are just nothing more than just liars.
Right. Exactly.
But I hope that does actually happen. But I think this past week, I think that was the start of it. I think that was the beginning. That was the actual beginning. But I'll let you go from there, bro. Thanks for taking the call, and I hope you have a good Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Take care, Ant.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And shout out to all you guys that are in the chat. I really appreciate you guys. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. 470, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello. Hey, Anthony. How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good, Anthony. I ain't spoke to you in the show a while, Anthony.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know what's been going on. You must have been kind of busy out there.
We been down in Midtown Atlanta just having us some fun, Anthony. We trying to get ready for Stacey. She finna run for Senate, Anthony.
You think how's she going to win, but she couldn't even beat Brian Kemp?
Don't worry about that, Anthony. He ain't running for Senate, Anthony.
She's not going to win. She's talking about she might want to be running for president. Is that going to happen?
I don't know, Anthony.
No.
If she do, I'm gonna work for her.
Nah, I doubt it's gonna, nah.
Hmm.
Nah, but go ahead. What you got to say about that?
Well, I was just gonna say, if she do run for president, it's gonna be good to have her in the White House again, Anthony. But anywho, Anthony, I'm just so upset about what they doing to Jussie, Anthony.
Why? I mean, he's the one that was on TV talking crazy, talking about he's the gay Tupac and all this, that, and the third. So if you want to be so vocal about your case, why not have it be public?
Well, I ain't gonna say he a gay Tupac, but he kind of like my gay Gucci Mane, Anthony.
Well, look, he's out there talking crazy all on TV, so he can't have it both ways. You can't be like, I want to say whatever I want to say on TV and then not have my case be public at the same time. So now the case is out there, and we all gonna know what's going on with the case. So I'm glad.
So that's how they got him, Anthony.
That's how they got him.
I guess sometimes you pay to keep your mouth closed, Anthony.
That's right.
And what's wrong with that Nadler man, Anthony?
I don't know. Like, what you got, a cat or something? What's going on?
Yes, Anthony. I got a little pooty cat, Anthony.
Okay, but Nadler, I don't know. He might got diabetes or something because he was getting ready to faint.
He needs to go ahead on and retire, and he can't stay up, Anthony.
Yeah, I
What's
think
wrong
so.
with him?
Yeah, he should go ahead and retire.
And that lady, Nancy Pelosi, Anthony, I thought she was okay, but I think she kind of demented, Anthony.
You think so? Why is that?
She can't even get a good sentence out, Anthony.
Yeah, Nancy, I don't know. She got some issues for sure.
I think she been hanging around Beto too long because she got all them hand movements and stuff, and sometimes her hand just be getting stuck, Anthony. Like, I don't know, Anthony. She just needs to get herself back together, Anthony.
What you say the hand be getting stuck?
Yeah, just watch her interviews, Anthony. And like her hand just be like she be throwing gang signs or something. I don't know. Maybe she with them Crips in South Carolina or wherever she from, Anthony. Or San Diego, wherever.
Yeah, that might be what's going on because she looking kind of crazy out there. She might need to retire too. Her and Nadler should go ahead and retire together.
Well, I guess they could just sail off in the sunset together, Anthony, because they just need to go somewhere. And what is Trump doing with releasing some docking people, Anthony?
Nah, he just being transparent. Ain't nothing wrong with being transparent. You want your president to be out in the open and public. You don't want a bunch of things to be hidden and, in darkness. Put everything out there so the public has access to it and we know what's going on.
Well, I guess you're right, Anthony.
Absolutely.
I just don't know what to say, Anthony. It's just so much going on in the world, Anthony.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, as long as we able to get through it, then it's not really a big deal to me. It's just always something happening. That's just the world.
Yeah, that's true, Anthony. But anywho, I hope they get themselves together, but they just really just need to leave this stuff alone and just do their job, Anthony. I ain't never been able to have a job and just be able to go investigate my coworkers or something, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm for real because all these investigations, they trying to impeach him by not impeaching him, by not really calling it out. So they're trying to do a million investigations, but at the end of the day, they're coming up with nothing. They're going through a bunch of haystacks. They can't even find a piece of hay, let alone a needle. So they're not gonna find anything, and it's not gonna help them in the future. So they should just go ahead and stop while they're behind.
I guess we agree on something again, Anthony.
There you go.
And what's wrong with that AOC girl? She's talking about some cauliflower bad, Anthony. What's wrong with her, Anthony? She's just stupid, Anthony.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I never heard nothing about cauliflower being the bad thing. You know, I'm not necessarily a fan of how cauliflower tastes. I thought it was just like a different kind of broccoli, and I like broccoli, so I don't know what's going on with that. She just, like you said, she's just a weird person.
It's just like broccoli. You just put some cheese on it. It's all good, Anthony. But she's just stupid, Anthony. If they ever come out with a female version of Forrest Gump, they need to put her in the role, Anthony. Because she's just stupid. I ain't never seen nobody that dumb. But anywho, I ain't gonna hold you on the phone. Did Nippin call in, Anthony?
Yeah, he called in earlier.
I missed his call. But anywho, I ain't gonna hold you on the line. I see Amazing and Kevin from Kevin's Corner. They ain't on here, Anthony. Oh, I just don't know what to do when I just think about him, Anthony. But I ain't gonna hold you on. I'm finna go, Anthony. I got to go and help make Atlanta gay again.
All right, now, well, you go do that and have a good time.
Okay, Anthony. I'll call you next Saturday. I'm not gonna call you but once a weekend because I don't want to interfere with your show. But bye, Anthony.
All right, now, take care. Shout out to the caller. I've not been able to identify who that is. I thought it was somebody, but it's not that person. I'm thinking it's somebody else, and I think I'm pretty much. I think I know who that is, but they ain't gonna tell me. And I know the person. I've met the person before, but they don't want to come out and tell me who they are. But I know who you are, sir. Yeah. Now, the cauliflower thing, is it because cauliflower is white Rich Guevara? Because I'm thinking, all right, what could possibly be the reason why cauliflower is a bad thing? Like, what's the problem? You can't grow cauliflower in a community garden? What? If she say you can't grow broccoli, then we're gonna fight. Cauliflower, I'm not really a fan of anyway, but broccoli, nah. I'm a big fan of broccoli, and if you can't eat broccoli, then we're just not going to be able to have you in office anymore. But let's get to the next call. Mike from Queens, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on, Anthony? How you doing tonight?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Oh, that's nice. I had a nice day today. Went out to the military cemetery to go visit my grandparents. Haven't done that in quite a while.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's real peaceful. You know, anytime you go into one of our national cemeteries. The national cemetery they happen to be buried up here in New York is all the way out east on the eastern end of Long Island. It's I think there's a bird sanctuary like next door, and I saw a bald eagle flying above, and it's really breathtaking because it's really peaceful, and I think that's the way they set it up. I'm going to be quite honest with you. And it's a perfect setting, you know?
Right, absolutely. It probably was by design. So when you go there, you have that feeling of peace, and it's inviting.
Yeah. I don't got much tonight, but did you see the message that John Voight posted on his Twitter page about and his opinion that he thinks Trump is the best president since Abe Lincoln, and basically just, you know, for everybody just to knock the nonsense off, you know, obviously the nonsense coming from the left, and just get behind the president for the country's sake. I mean, this is just it's just so toxic.
Now, I've not seen the video yet, but I've heard about it. I've heard about it, and I'm gonna check it out here soon. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's from what I've been reading about it, just from when I've been on the show reading. I mean, messages like that should be heard more often. Just to get everybody on one accord, stop all this fighting and carrying on. We got a country to operate here, and the thing about it is, it doesn't even matter if you are a anti-Trump person. You should want the president of the country to succeed because we all live here.
I mean, there's just so much going on in the world right now. The stuff that's happening in Europe, these radical Muslims, on a rampage across Europe. The anti-Semitism and the nonsense going on with some of these people that were elected to Congress in our country. North Korea, Iran, the warmongers in the cabinet. The talk of us, of us being in a de facto civil war amongst American citizens. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, people are basically having mental breakdowns.
Right.
Not even from Trump derangement syndrome, just the everyday pressures of living life and just all this nonsense that comes from the mainstream media. And I mean, there's only so many sane voices out there, and I give John Voight a lot of credit. He's a legend. I think I honestly believe he's a legendary actor. To step up and say something, because I mean, just look at the insanity with Alyssa Milano. She's really gone off her rocker. I don't know what happened to her. And just all the other people in the entertainment industry, these late night talk show hosts. Not that they're irrelevant. But it's crazy, man. It really is.
Absolutely.
So, all right, that's it. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, you got it. Good night.
All right, thank you to Mike from Queens for the call. I most certainly appreciate him. And let's check out this John Voight clip right quick. I got it loaded up. Let's check it out. I've not been able to see it, so I'll watch it with you guys live. And shout out to Rich, who says, shout out from the 219. I thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. 100%, boss. Okay, here we go with the John Voight clip.
People of the Republican Party, I know you will agree with me when I say our president has our utmost respect and our love. This job is not easy, for he's battling the left and their absurd words of destruction. I've said this once and I'll say this again, that our nation has been built on the solid ground from our forefathers, and there is a moral code of duty that has been passed on from President Lincoln. I'm here today to acknowledge the truth, and I'm here today to tell you, my fellow Americans, that our country...
Got a part two?
Country is stronger, safer, and with more jobs because our president has made his every move correct. Don't be fooled by the political left, because we are the people of this nation that is witnessing triumph. So let us stand with our president. Let us stand up for this truth, that President Trump is the greatest president since Abraham Lincoln. God bless America, and may God continue to guide this nation. Much love.
There we go. Boom. I love it. We need more of that from the Hollywood types to counteract the crazy, like Mike from Queens said, the crazy Alyssa Milano and all these other individuals. That was fantastic. I really, really like that. Shout out to my man, John Voight. 100%. Now, John Voight is not come off like a guy that's really a coward or scared, so he's going to be able to hold his own. So shout out to my man. Excellent talk right there. 702, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, man? It's Mark.
All righty, Mark. What's going on?
Nothing much. Didn't get a chance to catch much of the show. You got any big plans for Memorial Day weekend?
No, not really.
No? Okay. Just Just asking, did you see? Did anybody bring up the fact that Nadler was passing out?
Yeah, that was brought up, and I saw that. That was crazy. I didn't know what was going on. I'm thinking, okay, do you have diabetes, sir? What's really going on? Are you just old? You know, he was real big. That's why I thought diabetes, because he was like Peter Griffin at one point, literally. You know, the pants were looking like you got a 60-inch waist. It was crazy. So, you know, he lost weight since then. I'm thinking he probably got some situations, some kind of illnesses from that particular size he was.
Yeah, you gotta wonder if he had a stomach staple or some liposuction, or if he's on some like pharmaceutical drugs over there in DC. But it's like you look at somebody who's so chubby, so sloppy, and you just wonder why we can't get people like a Dan Bongino or a Tom Fitton, or even on the left like maybe a Van Jones. Like, why can't we get any healthy, fit people in there? You know, like Michelle Obama, she made her whole thing about fitness and all that. You know, and it's like none of these people are fit. They all look like Pelosi's slurring her words. She's probably high as a kite and drunk and loaded and, high on Ritalin or something. And it's like we can't get any like young, fit people in there. They squat in office for 40 years since the 70s. You know what I mean?
You're right about that. And the whole thing about Pelosi, did you see that she racked up a tab of $100,000 from buying liquor and stuff on the plane?
What? No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's a receipt and everything. It's on Business Insider. Like it's $101,000, and you got what's this? Cognac, E&J brandy, Grey Goose, all of that on the plane.
Yeah, you know, that reminds me of like the $600 hammer. You got to wonder that $100,000 bar tab, how many people are in her entourage, and how much did those drinks cost, and how much did you pocket, you know, per drink, you know what I mean? When you have to like literally embezzle from the bar tab, how greedy can you get? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. And, also, you know, I didn't have much to say, but I think the biggest hero in the country right now is definitely Dr. Ben Carson. You know, they give sanctuary cities to illegals, and they have like, you know, child brides and harems for these people on their social services and things like that. But for Americans, it seems like they get left out on the street to like defecate on the street and put up tents and throw their trash out in the street. And it's like, I don't see how an American can back somebody who doesn't back Dr. Ben Carson, who puts like homeless Americans first. You know, I know working homeless people, by the way. And to me, he's like, right now, he's the number one hero that's standing out this week for me.
Well, definitely. Yeah, Ben Carson really has done a lot. And the whole thing with him and Ilhan Omar, that little Twitter exchange, that was beautiful. That was fantastic. You know, and, you know, people talk about him and say, oh, he's this, he's that. Nah, Ben Carson is really doing the right thing. The illegal immigrants getting out of there. There's a lot of things that he's doing that I'm really, really liking. People said that he couldn't do it because he's supposed to be, you know, he's a brain surgeon. What does he know about HUD? Nah, he's doing a fantastic job.
He really is, you know, and way back in the day, I'm talking like years, maybe a decade ago, I actually did like refis and things like that, and El Gobierno was paying for the houses for these illegals, and it's kind of like, you know, they were talking about how like when the crisis hit, how like Americans were losing their homes and everything, and meanwhile they're like giving sanctuary cities to people who aren't Americans, you know, and I just don't know why Americans won't meet and match the aggression that they're receiving from the government that's willing to throw them out on the street and steal from them at the expense of like an invader class. But like I saw one tweet that made me kind of laugh. That was like Trump indictments 0, Avenatti indictments over 40.
Wow. Yeah, that's right. I mean, Avenatti is a cold crook. I mean, this guy, how you going to steal from the cash cow, Stormy Daniels? That's crazy. I mean, what kind of drug debt, gambling debt, what's going on to be stealing that kind of money? I'm thinking as a lawyer, if you're not being paid per hour, which I'm sure that he'd be getting paid a lot per hour if he was in charge because he's high profile. But if you're not getting paid per hour, you get like 33% of the commission from whatever settlement or whatever happens, whatever kind of cash award. So why is it not enough? Why must you steal money? This man stole $4 million from a paraplegic person in Los Angeles. It's like, what are we doing here? like you're the crook. The ones that are pointing the fingers the most seem to have the most dirt on their particular name.
Yeah, and the media threw their full force backing for president behind this guy, and he's like a stone cold, cruel pimp. I mean, when you're stealing from a prostitute who steals money from men all day on that pole in the clubs, there's got to be something like, I mean, that's iceberg slim level. And when you're stealing from paraplegics, that's like stealing gold medals from the Special Olympics, you know what I mean? And as for have you read Stormy Daniels' book, by the way?
I've not read that, no.
Okay, if you ever do, I mean, it's swanky. I mean, it's really street level. But she said she wanted to get into stand-up, and she could definitely do it without even having any material because she's so materialistic and so superficial that the stuff she was mocking Trump for, it made you like him. You know what I mean? Like, because he was like, hey, I guess Stormy had some, friends that were in the adult industry, and she was on the phone with them when she was out with Trump on, an excursion. And he was like, hey, come out with us and party. And she was mocking him. And she was saying, party to Trump was like drinking waters on the golf course and talking business and learning how the adult industry business works and the ins and outs of that business. Whereas, for her and her friends, it's basically like Caligula with drugs. You know what I mean? So it's like she was trying to make fun of Trump, but he was, totally professional and, having this clean experience and learning how to maximize the profits for her. And, she was mocking him for that. And meanwhile, she was trying to make it hip and cool that they were out there doing substance abuses and being like Caligula and being vectors for diseases like rats or ticks. And it's she was trying to make him look bad, but she made herself look bad in her own very book. You know what I mean?
Right. That's wild.
Yeah, she's a swank. But anyway, I wanted to wish you and your listeners a happy Memorial Day. I always want to give credit to the troops. And I don't want to bring this up. It's uncomfortable for me. But on Memorial Day weekend, we just had Avengers Endgame. Did you see that movie?
I've not seen it yet, no.
Okay. I haven't either. I'm passing on it, but it looks tremendous. I've seen bootleg footage, and Marvel makes great movies. But, Captain America is the big, nationalistic, patriotic, and idealistic Boy Scout, Eagle Scout hero. And yet, you look at people like Pat Tillman, you look at people like Chris Kyle, both died under friendly fire and both died under mysterious circumstances. So it is my contention, unfortunately, on this Memorial Day weekend, that this government would take out Captain America if they found out he was going to be a whistleblower.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Right. And anything that's all I got for you. What's the Jussie case unsealed? Jussie Smollett. Did any juicy stuff come out about that case?
Well, there's not been information really revealed as of yet, but it's coming. But it's been unsealed, so we're just kind of waiting, kind of in the holding pattern to see what comes as a result of that.
Yeah, I feel bad for him and the whole cast of Empire. It's just somewhat of a bizarre stunt, but it's this framing, this constant framing of trying to frame, this is MAGA country in the ghettos of Chicago in the wee hours of the morning on in the what you call the polar vortex. It's it's the amount of framing setup, Trump is right. It's you need Perry Mason or Monk or who's the other guy, Columbo on the case. It doesn't take any one of those detectives to figure out what's going on. And to see that, who he's affiliated with, it's depressing. I actually feel bad for the left that this is how far they'll go. And the worst people I feel for are the people that will believe these lies. They'll be like, yeah, Avenatti's a stud. Yeah, Jussie Smollett's a truth teller. Oh, Dr. Ben Carson is bad. It's just got to the point where it's we really are approaching that almost borderline communism 2 + 2 = 5 and the sky is green level. And I don't know. I guess I'm a bit worried, when the pendulum swings after after big Mr. Trump, like what we're going to face. You know what I mean? You think of Memorial Day, all the people who died, so that we can have like, you know, Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you know, be our authority figures. It's just kind of ridiculous. But anyway, I want to thank you for taking my call at the last second, and I'll call you on Wednesday.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thanks, sir.
Bye now. All right. Thank you to Mark for the call. Most certainly appreciate him, but that will be a wrap for me tonight. I appreciate all you guys for being here. And who do we have? We got Super Chats all caught up. I think I'm all caught up on Super Chats. Give me 1 second here just to make sure I'm good money. All right. Okay, let's go. Let's see if we got everybody. Thank you to Truth Seeker for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Mandatory Carrier who says keep up the good work. I appreciate that. Shout out to Nick Taylor who says, brother man, hope all is well. As soon as I get in, I got to run 2-car major accident. Enjoy your weekend. Peace. Excuse me. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. And shout out to G Carjala who says always here. Kevin Duggan says Florida law speech HB 741 anti-Semitic memes. I got to check into that and see what's happening. But that will be a wrap for me. Thank y'all for joining. I'll be back on Wednesday with another live show. I got a video coming out tomorrow about this whole Nancy Pelosi fake videos kerfuffle. That'll probably come out towards the morning time or something. But as of right now, I'm done. Shout out to all the moderators for doing a great job tonight. You guys know who you are. I can't see everybody. We got Michelle A, Shreeves, T-Pain, of course, Protocol, Eliza Jean, Bill from the Hills, the whole squad. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for doing what you do all the time. Definitely appreciate you. And until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.